Welcome to Kranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Kranky, and this is the Kranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Kranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Kranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Kranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Good afternoon. How is everyone out there in YouTube land doing? This is an impromptu show. I don't normally do this. I normally do my shows about 6, even though I don't do shows on Friday. Jamaica vibes, bless up. Thanks for joining. But I have a show this evening at 8 p.m. and I said, let me just come on and talk a little bit about the squad. Jump on, jump off, not a long show, but I figure I should just do a show. I'm sure there's a lot of other people doing shows at the same time. So it's interesting. It's like NBC, CBS, all doing competing stuff. So that's good. Love this stuff, actually. But thanks for being here. We're going to talk about the Reggae Boyz squad and the press conference. And actually what I would probably do is first I say it won't be a long program, but first I'll just put the squad up. We'll talk about the squad, but also listen to a little bit of the press conference and talk about it a little bit. Press conference was just about 40 plus minutes. Big up Leslie Davis. Thanks for joining. About 40 plus minutes, I think it was. As you come in, people just hit the like button. I appreciate it. So it'd be good to go to the squad and then talk about the ins and the outs. And I thought it was interesting. Jamaica vibes say, first drop please and give it us a chance. Yeah, we'll talk about the coach actually. We talk about the coach because I don't think there's things that I listen to in the press conference and I smile to myself because he's a politician. The question, did he really drop players or is it just where... We'll talk about that because I have a different read and it may be a more critical read than some others do about certain things actually. And I'm puzzled by decisions that are made sometimes, which to me don't have the logic behind those decisions from where I sit. He's a very nice person, very affable, articulate, have a great personality and person that people want to be around. We'll talk about Larry. Hey, Larry Davis was a famous person in New York at one point in Queens. Remember that Larry Davis who had cops running all over the place? I think he was in Rikers at one point. So it's an interesting name, Larry. I hate to bring that up, but Larry Davis was either famous or infamous in New York, actually. And as I said before, hit the like button, you come in. And I know probably won't get my usual attendees because I know there are competing programs going on and I came on late. But as I said before, at the inception of the discussion, I had to come on because I want to talk about this and I know I won't get a chance this evening. I have a prior engagement at 6 and I have another show at 8 that I got to prepare for. So this is a quick jumping and jump out, but I appreciate you being here. So we should go to the squad. I want to hear what I'll do? I want to hear your perspective on the squad. Are you happy with the squad? Are you unhappy with the squad? Do you have concerns about the squad? Some players are getting opportunities. Some players have been out in the wilderness for a while. They're back in the team, and we'll talk about that. Seem like we have shortage in certain departments. For example, still don't see midfield being addressed in terms of bringing in players. We seem to bring in a lot of defenders. Is it just we have a lot of wingers and defenders. We don't have a lot of quality midfielders. By the way, people, I love the quality of Cataract's questions today. They don't always seem eye to eye, but he didn't get his questions from ChatGPT or from AI. I heard some questions from AI, by the way, because I do use AI to get to this is what AI would tell me. I heard some questions about AI, but Cataract question was very, very deductive, very, very insightful, and well positioned actually. And I think he should get some credit for that because I think it's deserved credit. You know, questions like that don't just come down from the sky, people. They're very insightful questions. So Jamaica Vibes say, I'm happy with the squad. This coach is experimenting. I don't know if he's experimenting or is it the coach or is it the assistant coach? Like I need to know, when does the coach become the owner for this team? And we go. So do you guys want to hear the press conference and I critique it as we go through it? I want to say critique it and I comment on it because critiquing because you'll get to see him beat me now. Get to you're always too critical. So do you guys want to hear the conference and then we go through it? Because I have it here, I could stop it and talk to it. Yes, Maggie is back, and we'll talk about Maggie being back, and I think that's important, actually. People, hit the like button. It's 23 hours and not 12 people. Hit the like button, people. It's in the middle of the day. I took time out from my day, busy schedule today to do this. Hit the like button. Yeah. The actual journalists don't. No, Cataract questions are normally very good, actually. They are very player focused a lot of times. But I think the one about Ravel was an extremely not anybody can ask them question. Let me just say that. No, anybody can ask them question. A big question that. Especially how the question was positioned. And the coach recognized that because it was a very good question. The way he positioned the question was very, very insightful, actually. It's not the normal question would be, he's now playing, have you thought about him? Or he's playing far away, would you get a chance to see him? His question was a combination of, yes, he's playing, but the level he's playing at, do you have a concern? Which if you look at England squad, for example, you don't call people below the Premier League or below the top 5 leagues in Europe. Rarely, if ever. In fact, they don't. The last kid they called actually played at Crystal Palace. I forgot his name. And he was in the championship the year before. So that question to me was insightful. You hear me talk about Ravel in my last show that I did. So bless up, know yourself. Thanks for being here. You talk about Ravel in my last show and my view on Ravel and his capabilities. So I think what the coach is saying that I don't care if you're playing in corner league. If I evaluate you and you have the quality, I'm gonna bring you in. That to me is music to my ears, actually. I think sometimes some players don't play at a certain level and they have the skill set, but they're just not playing at the level that you want them to. But they contribute better than other players. So yeah. Bless up, know yourself. So you guys can pose your question and your comments. I'm gonna play. Let me know if you want me to play the press conference because it's on YouTube. It's on JFF Live, and then we can critique. I can stop it and go through it, or you just want to have conversation. Let me know because I think that's probably an interesting way to go through this. I mean, some of you may not have heard the press conference, others may have. So let me know. Jamaica Vibes. I have a different view on that Jamaica Vibes. So is it giving credit or is it acknowledging that I don't know the players, but he's helping me? So you know what? If this play don't work out, it's not mine, it's his. McClaren's answer the NBA exclusion was, you know what I'm going to do, people? So I'm going to play it and stop it. I'm going to play the tape and stop it. And then we can talk about it. I think that's maybe the best thing. So let me take the squad off the screen. Let me play this tape and stop it. Let me guys know if you can hear this. If I'm playing it, let me take this off. If I'm playing it and you're not hearing it, then what I will do is I'll just play it and put a picture up, for example. So let me know. Let me see if I can pull this up. I tried to play the video as a test earlier and it wasn't working for some reason. I can get it to play on my phone and it comes through the system. But what I would love to do is to put it up. So you guys can tell me if you can hear this. If not, I'll just play it and then we can just watch the screen. So let me know if you can hear this. Can you guys hear that? Let me know. Can you guys hear that? Let me know if you can hear that. No? All right. That means it's playing. I'm hearing it well, but you can't hear it. So what I'll do is I'll leave this up here and I'll play it on my phone. I wonder why that doesn't work though. I know the system is set up, streaming is set up for videos. All right, so let me play this. I'll just have this picture on the screen. So it's a still picture, people. Don't beat me. Let me know if you can hear this then. Let me pull up this. The JFF was late, by the way. People want to help me. People think I'm too critical, but they were late. They're late to their own press conference. So you know you're going to be late for your own funeral.
Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Let me know if you can hear that, people.
This morning, your punctuality as well. Welcome to this morning's press conference, the squad announcement for the CONCACAF Nations League for the October window. Before we get into the formalities of everything, just want to introduce the persons we have with us at the head table. To my far left, we have the president of the Jamaica Football Federation, Mr. Michael Ricketts, and to my immediate left, we have the head coach of the Jamaica Senior Men's National Team, Mr. Steve McClaren. So again, thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Just go through a few housekeeping matters for members of the media. We kindly ask as well that you put your cell phones on silent or vibrate so as not to disturb anything in the program, the audio or video elements. That would be greatly appreciated. And also, apart from that as well, what we kindly ask as well is that persons are coming in at the back as well. You can remind those individuals as well that will be coming into here as well. So just a reminder for the CONCACAF Nations League this window, the matches are October 10 and October 14. Firstly, away against Nicaragua on October the 10th, and then at home against Honduras on October the 14th. And as we know, the CONCACAF Nations League serves as a qualifier for the Gold Cup next summer as well. So the magnitude of this competition, it really shows how massive it is. So to kick things off, we're going to start with some opening remarks, and we're going to start with the head coach of the senior men's national team, Coach McClaren. Coach.
Thank you, and welcome. Just a few opening remarks about the squad, which you no doubt have by now. There are a few fallouts, which I'll go through. We have Shamar Nicholson, who, after the last camp, we've had many discussions, and he never felt happy about his condition or his form. And he expressed that he felt he was way behind in terms of not having a pre-season, playing in the Copa, missed it with his club, Moscow, and he wants to build his fitness up. So what he said was that he didn't feel right, in the right form, the right level of fitness to be ready to join us on this camp. So we had many discussions about this, and what he's doing is he's building his fitness up. He's hired a performance coach to work with him on the fitness side. His club, his manager is helping him also to improve his fitness. Giving him game time. He's played in, I think, 2 cup games so far. And he wants to be 100% Shamar Nicholson. And he doesn't feel he was at that the last camp. So I understand where he's coming from. And we hope that he gets in good condition, plays minutes for his club, starts scoring goals, and getting back to the Shamar which we know. And so we've expressed that we'll keep in touch, review his games, his program, and we look to the next camp. So that's Shamar. Leon Bailey. Unfortunately, Leon got a hamstring injury for the last call-up. Came back from that. I think by his own admission, came back a little too early and re-injured his adductor. The other day against Bayern Munich. I think everybody saw the game. He came in after 30 minutes and went out after 60 minutes. He has a problem. I don't quite know exactly what that is. The club are investigating that. Don't know whether he's fit or he's not, but he certainly has a problem. And too much of a problem to risk flying him here and risk him in the games. So he's really, really disappointed because after the last camp he missed, he didn't want to miss this one. He wants to play for Jamaica. He made that clear to me. And so he's very disappointed in that. Jamal Lowe is another one who, since the last camp, and I liked him in the last camp, he's not played minutes for his club. Again, I had quite a long conversation the last couple of days with his coach, who expressed that Jamal would be better working the next 2 weeks with his club, and like Jamal, working on his fitness and his form and his rhythm, which he lost after coming back from the last camp. So we've agreed to not bring him on this camp. It's the club's decision, and I uphold that. I have to have a good relationship with the clubs for the future. With the Shamar, I wanted him, but it's his decision that he wanted to get back to the Shamar that we know. And another one who's not included this time was last is Hector, who didn't have a club last time, but I brought him for the experience. He was tremendous in the camp, tremendous professional. And I said to him, need to start playing, need to get a club. I spoke with him the last couple of days. He's close to agreeing something. And I said, let's keep in touch. And if you get a club, you start playing football, then it's a chance to look at it again. John Russell, another one who I liked in camp. We brought him in last time. Since going back, he's not played any minutes for his club, and we need people to do that. He's a 6 or 8, and we have 8s enough in K-Roy, Bobby, and Casey Palmer. So I said, look, we'll keep you on standby if we get any problems over the weekend. But he's another one who, at this stage of the season, it's important to build your fitness, to get rhythm, to play minutes. And if you don't, then you lose a lot. And so that's the reason, basically, with Shamar, Jamal, Hector, John Russell. But Adrian Reed is another who I watched him play last night. Very impressive again. We brought him in the last camp for experience. I wanted to look at a young player. We had a look at Adrian. I liked him a lot. Tremendous boy, great around the camp, good personality, and he's playing well for Cavaliers. But I said, this time we just have 1 or 2 more experienced players that we need for the next 2 games. So he understood that. We keep in touch. So they're the ones who are out. The ones who come in, we had a problem at right back, I think, last camp. In the 2 games, Dexter unfortunately got injured in the first game, couldn't play in the second, and because Lati Vidier had played so well in midfield, I didn't want to move him into the right back position. Greg Lee filled in, did a very good job. I've kept in touch with Dexter. He's fit, he's training, maybe not had the minutes that he needs, but he's fit to come on camp. But I wanted a right back, and on the recommendation of Meron, then we had a look at Tavon Gray, New York FC, and I like this boy. Strong, good defender, gets forward. Saw him score a goal in a local derby when they beat New York Red Bulls, and he's been in the squad before and done very well. No hesitation in bringing him. So I look forward to working with him. John Bell, that leaves a space at left back because Amari Bell is injured. So that will push Greg Lee to the left back position. I needed cover there. And John is experienced. He's been in the squad before, was in the Copa team and squad. And so I've liked him. I followed him at Seattle. So he comes in. An interesting one, even before I came in, we've chased this player, to play for Jamaica, Mason Holgate. And I think through the intervention of the president, especially trying to push through players double heritage wanting passports, I think we finally very, very, very close to getting a passport for Mason Holgate. I think he just needs clearance from FIFA. So I'm including him in the squad. He might not qualify for the first game, but we think by the second game, he will definitely be available. So I decide to bring him in, integrate him quickly, and hope the documentation comes through so we can have him in both games. We'll move into midfield. I've always looked for a number 10, a creative player, a little bit out of the box, a little bit somebody who can win games, change games. And I asked Meron, and he recommended Tyreek McGee from Colorado Switchbacks. So I had a little look at him, and I liked him. This boy has ability, skill, can change a game. And I said, yeah, we'll give him a chance. We'll give him an opportunity. And I think that's what I aim to do. I'm learning so much about everything in Jamaica. And the squad is important. So I'm learning a lot about different players. And Tyreek is somebody I can't wait to work with and to see in training and hopefully get some minutes and hopefully impact in the game. So he comes in that midfield area. And because of Jamal going out and Shamar, again, working closely with Meron, who knows all the players, every player going in whatever country. He's an excellent recruiter. Talked about the number 9, and he talked about Romario Williams, or Pavi as he likes to be called, playing for Indy 11. And I haven't seen much of this boy. I look forward to seeing him in training. But from what I've heard, he's been in the squad before. He's got experience. The players know him. Good addition to the squad. And he will play minutes because in that area we are pretty short. So that roughly talks about the squad. What did I learn from the last camp? The team have great spirit. They great togetherness. I could see that from the first moment they all came together in the dining room. Smiles, hugs, so much energy in the room. I said, if we can keep this energy, we'll be okay. That was heightened to an extent by a local quiz that we had, and we had the olds against the young, and we also had a staff team, and the staff team won. And the staff team won mainly because of the president, who got the question right of when was the president first elected into office. All the players, they got it wrong, 2017, and the staff had a man who knew the answer. And so, that was part of the team spirit and the bonding that we want to see within the squad. And I think that transferred onto the field. I think you saw it, especially in the second game. It was a tough game. Stayed in the game. Subs made an impact, and the spirit really got us through that game. So the spirit was excellent. What I liked was we were trying to build an identity, a way of playing. That means that players have to be very brave, take the ball, even in tight areas. So I was really pleased with the way that they took to the build-up, which we asked them to do. From the goalkeeper, the back four, through progression to the midfield. We had to be brave, and we were. And I was happy controlling the game basically through possession. So the build-up I was pleased with, but can get better. I was pleased with the pressing and the counter-pressing, especially in the first game when we aimed against Cuba to play in their half and stay in their half. And because of the pressing and then the counter-pressing as soon as we lost the ball, winning it back, I thought was very good.
So I want to stop there for a second because that's where he talked about all the players. So what's your thoughts on this? I'm seeing some of the thoughts come true. Know yourself say, I can't believe Simon. We're going to finish playing the whole thing, people. That's about half of it. We're about halfway or 40% through. Can't believe Simon and him really make this like happen. He's the one who really knows all the players. So here's what's funny about this, people. And that's why I love Cataract question, because there should be more questions like this. Here's the question, because every time the coach talks, it seems like Meron is making the decision about who we should look at. I haven't heard him say Meron recommended one person he's turned down. So it's McGee, John Bell, Taven. And these are all, I'm going to call them, and don't take this the wrong way, recycled players we have seen before. I'm going to call them recycled. Players who have been here in the squad before, but are in and out of the squad, including McGee. So, for example, you need a right back. So what happened to Denzel Hall, who plays in the Dutch First Division League? Why isn't he not being called or considered? We have seen Tajon Gray before. We have seen him. Nice kid. We have seen him. So there are other players, right? Who, and look, players you call the national team, it's always going to be very subjective. And he wants to give players a chance to see what their capabilities are. So my question then becomes, why wouldn't Denzel Hall be given an opportunity? Or is that Marion Gordon doesn't know Denzel Hall from a hole in the wall? Because Marion seemed to only know locally developed players. Have you ever heard him say, I spoke to Denzel Hall, to Marion Gordon, he said, XYZ player who's born in the US and play XYZ and have Jamaican passport. Does Marion have the database? Does Marion know all the players? Or just does Marion know what's at his fingertips? Bless up New Wave, thanks for joining. And best up Dex Play. Right? That's the question you ask. Because I've gotten Denzel Hall name now for a while. I know he's going through his papers. He's got his passport. He plays in Dutch First Division. He was playing for Fire Nord, then he's at Eindhoven, whatever the name of the club is. So I don't get that actually. And this is just one example. Put it out. He's at Irenveen is the name of the club. Herenveen, whatever you pronounce it. But I am just trying to understand the concept and the idea about, and this question should have been asked, which is, Coach, you talk about we have people all over the place. Where you get the intelligence about other players who qualify to play for Jamaica or who may qualify, and what is your recruiting strategy you're employing for you to go look at them and make an informed decision? He said he had a little look at McGee. He had a little look at Gray. We don't need little look. We need informed look. We need to spend time going to the game and watching the player and also watch him on tape, right? You need to be at the game sometimes to see the player. That's why I see coaches go fly out to go watch player play. Where are you doing that? We don't want just your assistant coach. Yes, you should leverage your assistant coach. Their input should be valuable. If they're not useful, they shouldn't be on your bench. But what are you doing? Yeah, Lee Young. Yeah, I know the name. I can't pronounce it. What are you doing as a coach to get informed perspective view to be able to assess the quality of the players you want to bring to your squad? I haven't heard that. Now we talk about Nicholson, which I thought was really interesting, actually. Really interesting about Shamar and what he did or didn't do, or what he says or didn't say. And is it that Shamar came and wasn't getting game time, so he said, "You know what? Now come back." I don't know. Was it that he's not fit or he's not getting game time? Who knows? I could be cynical by saying that. As related to Jamal Lowe, that means you're saying it's a FIFA window. Clubs don't have the option to keep the player. He ain't going to get fit just staying up there and run up and down, right? I understand the travel is a problem, but why wouldn't you bring him? That doesn't make sense to me when he's going to be playing 90 minutes of football because he's not getting a run in his team. He's going to stay there and just work hard every day. Why couldn't you come here and you give him a different training routine than the rest of the team? And especially when you say you're short in the center forward line and he can play across the front line. That I don't understand. Yeah. So Omar saying, Kranky, believe it or not, will not change with Miran in that job as assistant. Yeah. Jamaican 5 says, Kranky, the coach is a positive person. It's not a professional to mention as a player by name or commission from Miran Gordon that he didn't accept. Yeah. He didn't say, here's a problem I have with that Jamaica Vibes. He didn't say, McClaren recommended a few players in this position. We looked at them and we liked this one. That's not what he said. Meran recommended a player and I look at him and it's fine. He never said, look, Meran recommended 3 or 4 players that play a given position. There's a difference. Every time I hear him speak, he talked about Reed and how he loves Reed. People. So this is where I can get beaten from the JFF. Minakir. We're not idiot. We're not born yesterday. You say you loved him the previous window when we had more midfielders. We had John Russell the last window, right? We had more midfielders who were here, who you brought as the best 23 or 25, 23 to be in that team. So in this window, you brought Reed in the last window because you loved him. He played for Cavaliers. He played against Police. He was good, as you said. You loved, and in this window, we brought him for experience. You drop him for this window when you see a shot in that midfield. And you drop Dan Russell and you bring Maggie as a 10. What you talk about, coach? I'm confused. Maybe not that smart, I'm confused. So when I go to the squad and people give me all these things and the JFF get mad because we're overly critical, because we deal with logic people. We're not logic business. We're in the logic business. And if the logic doesn't work, we have a problem with it. Okay? We have a problem with the logic. And so you can't convince me otherwise, coach, about those things. Now, for the rest of the player, I don't mind seeing McGee in the squad, actually. I think the squad needs some ingenuity. If we can get Ravel, we might as well get, as far as I'm concerned, get McGee in the squad. And the question is, will he give him any game? Because he has 3 midfielders there. And McGee's probably going to be on the bench. I don't think he'll start. I can't see him starting because he's going to play the 3 regular midfielders he has. But some of the logic is Kranky. Every coach is different. I understand the coach is different, but I think the coach got to do some more homework. I don't know what he's doing. But he got to go spend more time, go look at them players. Get the coach, go get the database of players. Work with Miran and Simon, all of them, and even get a Rafi, get up the 50 you want to look at, and go spend some time, look at the players. Sorry. It seems like you're on the sideline, list the mirror and tell you what to do. And then you just do it. I don't care anybody don't like what I'm saying. That's what I'm hearing. If you people don't like that, tough. That's what I'm hearing. Miran, who we can bring in as a Miran? Miran no a local player. Miran nobody else who are local. No one else I'm saying. Miran to me, no nobody understand local. I mean, I hear Miran recommend one person on local. First of all, Miran in the know like a Devon Porter, or in the know like a Simon, or in the know like a Cataract. All them people who then spend all them time and effort figuring out who are 7th or 8th generation gambler with Jamaica, whether they have passport or not. Denzel Hall should have been called instead of Taven Gray. Can't convince me otherwise. And I haven't seen the kid play that much because we've seen Taven Gray already. He's okay. I've seen John Bell up close and personal. He's okay. Holgate can play CDM and Holgate can play right back. I think he's bringing in Holgate to play right back in the second game. I have that feeling. I don't think he's comfortable with his right backs, no matter what he says. The coach always, and look, Jamaica family vibes is right. It's not okay for a coach like Ten Hag to bash play in the public media or say something negative. I understand that. But if you have nothing good to say, don't say nothing. I keep telling me how happy you are sometimes. I don't see what, and we who are informed parties are not necessarily happy. Right? Now, Holgate can play CDM. Holgate problem is the same thing you guys complain about low and red card, that's Holgate. Same thing you guys complain about low, about red card and yellow card, that's Holgate. Maybe even worse in terms of red card. Maybe a little bit better in terms of yellow card. I think low has about 100 yellow card and about 3. Much game he play? I have enough yellow card. I think he get about 1 in 3. I forgot what Holgate numbers are. They ain't great. Holgate like to get yellow and red card. And so when he get frustrated, when I run past him, and just kick them down and pick up a red card and come up, like him want to come up the field. But he's a better player than some of who we have. Yes, I agree. Dex plays. He's better on the ball. Yes, he can play. He can be rash. Yes, and he can play the CDM too. People probably better than I think he's probably better than Labitati Badir actually. If I was to gauge both of them. Probably similar. I shouldn't say better. But I think, he's probably better actually. Because he can make a long pass. Lati can make a long pass. But I've seen him play CDM and he's decent. What is Cameron saying? John, I'm saying what he's doing is supposed to know every player. Okay. Yeah, I don't. If you've been here since August, September, October, well, October start yet. So you've been here 2 months now, right? Your work, because you're getting paid for every minute of the day, because your coach's job isn't done. For the 2 months, you should have been embed yourself. You're supposed to be deep into all the players. Let's leave the JFF alone. Okay? You can't manage them, right? They're over there. And seem like you're getting along with them. That's fine. And you sound like them too, so that's good. On the same page. Because we know the man Hagrim's a problem. You should be buried in the players we have can play for Jamaica. Buried in watching tapes after tapes. Buried in going to games, talking to their coach. You know, Denzel Hall, you know, Holgate, you know, Mason Greenwood, Jamal, having discussion, in-depth discussion, going to games, meeting them, talking to them, engaging them. Especially with the ones that you don't know, because you're building a relationship with the ones you do know, especially the ones you don't know who you think can play for Jamaica. So the ones who are on the cusp, and I have like, 4 or 5 names of those individuals, and the ones who have the passport and can play, like a Denzel Hall. You should have a conversation with them. You should go watch them and talk to them. I don't want to come and hear you talk about, well, you know what, this person recommended by Maron God. I'm tired of hearing that. I don't want to hear that. How much time you hear arguments to say that? People. How much time you hear? Because arguments in Jamaica, this coach got Jamaica and impartial Jamaica, even worse than tourists. You know, I spend no time down there. Go down there and fly back home yard. So are you there your yard? I watch TV. Are you there? I watch player. Bless up Jason Guna. Yeah, people can call in. So people don't want to hear the rest of the press conference because only cataract question that makes sense to me. So if no one knows the rest of the press conference, we can't talk about it. But and this sounds very critical on my end because I think the coach is very affable, very articulate, great disposition. But our job as analysts or whatever we call ourselves, YouTubers, is to look at the squad. Could we have picked a better squad? It couldn't be much better. He picked based on available players, right? It ain't gonna be a ton better. Yeah, I heard that. So what are you saying? Foolish. Yeah. I don't want my coach to be coming every press conference to talk about say, oh, the assistant coach recommended somebody bring me team. No man, I said the assistant coach recommended 4 players, and I looked at all of them. This was the best one I could see. Or you know what? Based on the list I have that developed, I've come up with a list, a comprehensive list of all the players that can play for Jamaica, both those who have passports and those who don't. I've categorized them based on positions, those who are versatile. And I'm working through hierarchically based on their capabilities and how they think they fit in my team, going through each of them. I don't hear any strategic assessment of his recruiting process that he's going through. All I'm here is, hey, Meran said, oh, and I can't play now, so check him out. People hit the like button. And if you don't like him, you understand, because it must be so critical to them. I know it's so critical. JF give you bless up Vinci. I haven't seen you in a while, Vinci. Oh, by the way, Vinci, I forgot this. I think there is a Arsenal 101, our Premier League forum tonight at 5. I think I may do that 5 o'clock one, Vinci. I think I have this show, then a 5 p.m. show with Tony, then I have a mentee meeting, and then I have an 8 o'clock show. People come watch my 8 o'clock show. I'm breaking down, well, once I'm breaking down, I'm going to talk about our Prime Minister's situation, his statutory declarations, the assessment done by Integrity Commission, the findings that they have, and my perspective on all of this, which should be interesting, actually. And also about I touch upon the litigation that he's undertaking for whatever reason. I know I might try though. Bless up Owen, and thanks for joining us. So you should come. It's 8 o'clock. It's going to be both on my Kranky Live channel and on my Balance View channel, which I haven't done for a while. But let's go back to this, because we're talking about this. Let me know if you guys want to hear the rest of the press conference, or we just talk about this. Because there were some questions I asked, some questions you can just throw away, which is normally 90% of the questions I'm asking in conference. Yeah. I know that's critical, but me not here. But cataract question was brilliant, actually. I wouldn't even say good, it was brilliant. And there were a couple more good questions, actually. But yeah, look, what do you mean let's talk O&M? What are you talking about O&M? You say let's talk. Yeah, Vince, you should join me tonight, Vince. It should be good. The Caribbean has issues. You're a guy in an don't tax. Anyone in don't tax the guy. I can't understand people in the Caribbean. The Caribbean lack leadership. we enough said the coach not doing any recruiting. He has enough time to assess player. He has enough time to assess. What do you mean Winston fouling? I know your comment is strange to me. If the man keep talking about Meran Garden, me know why you know Meran Garden. Me know why you're angry talking about Meran Garden. First of all, you know something, people, let me say this. This is going to sound really harsh. You know when Emery was taking the job for Arsenal, the reason why he got the job instead of Arteta, not only was he strategic about what he would do, but he had a dossier on every player in the Arsenal squad, their strengths, their capabilities, their weaknesses. The coach should have done his due diligence before he even take the job. He had to have done his due diligence before he take the job. Now, his due diligence should have been on the players that he knows. And then when he comes, he get the full portfolio of players. So I don't want anybody to tell me about Kranky overly critical and all of this. No. I don't want to come back on press conference talk about say, Meran Gordon. Stop your nonsense, coach. Sorry, this may sound disparaging, but stop the nonsense about Meran Gordon, tell you. First of all, just say, you know what, milk money player. They gave me a list of players, and this is the one I selected. Fake it. It doesn't sound good when you say that. For the games at Kranky Live, the channel is growing, but you don't do enough show to grow faster. I was thinking about doing less shows because I'm not happy with the growth. I get discouraged, before the game. Things don't work out well, I'm going to do something else. I used to failure. And failure is good. I mean, I realize we have to do something else. I've been thinking about doing more social commentary than do sports because if you're not talking Jamaica football, nobody no one can watch you. And these are people that might know. So either I'm do more Knicks and more NFL, then I watch Premier League because a lot of people never watch Arabic channel and Troops and other people. So we'll see how it goes. But we'll see. I'm not going to probably do this much longer if it not go get better. Look, Tycoon, I am, look, could we have picked a better squad? I don't know. I mean, you can only pick from who is available, but I don't think we have done, from what he's saying, I haven't seen where he's done the due diligence and the research and the assessment and spend the time that he should. He's getting paid $500,000 a year. It's a lot of money. It may not be a lot for people in the Premier League, but he ain't in the Premier League. This is Jamaica. You know what? Vince, I'm going to do some of that. I'm going to have to focus on a different audience because this audience is very myopic in their view. So I have already think this, Vince. If I start over, I'm start from scratch and start over. So before the game, I'm not do much show if I don't get enough more people. I'm stuck under 2,000 subscribers forever. So people now subscribe. So I'm going to go. At least Sir Mac is honest. In terms of what Ika reads, I don't want to question anybody's honesty because I can't look into their brain, but I don't think he's totally transparent on certain things. I think he's transparent on the fact that I don't think he thinks he's even transparent. He's about telling you that he doesn't know the players, and I'm saying do more due diligence on players. I don't want to say you took a little look. I don't know what is meant by a little look. What's a little look? That's not enough to inform your view. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Evening.
Yes.
Afternoon. Yeah. Big up, Kranky.
Bless up.
I don't think it's fair to be critical of the selection, but in your opinion, you're stating that you don't know if the squad could be better. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what would be the other solution?
So were you listening?
Yes, I was.
And if you call me critical, me happy because when it comes to critical, your thumbnail is by itself. Wait, let me finish the talk now. Let me show. When you come by your show, you can beat me up. Your thumbnail himself then go past critical. So can you say I'm hypocritical in saying that? No. Here's what I'm saying. There are two different things. I'm saying I don't know if this squad could be better given what we have. At the same time, I'm saying I don't want you to come tell me that Meran Gordon is the one recommend. Every time you come on as a coach and bring a new player, it's a Meran Gordon. I want you to do your research, your own assessment, your due diligence, and we'll say, yes, Meran recommended this player, but I already saw the player in the list. I looked at the player. I talked to Meran because I got to talk to Meran about the holistic squad. We talk, not even Meran, we talk about a variety of things, including the volume of players we have available, what positions they play in. I have done my assessment. I got Meran's input, and we select this player.
All right, let me answer this question. What's the role of an assistant?
I have various roles of an assistant. It's basically to support the coach.
And I've seen cases where at the club level, right, where assistant, the assistant to the coach or whoever it is, they have, to an extent, depending on the coach, they will want a large input from them in terms of certain things, in terms of not so much the squad selection, but just in terms of data of certain players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you missed my point. You missed my point, though. I'm saying whenever he comes, he said, Meran recommended a player. I took a little look. Wait. He said, I took a look. He didn't say it. I spent some time. I said, I took a little look. It's almost like Meran recommended a player, and I put the player in the squad. That's what I'm hearing.
But I think you see, I was critical of the guy before he took the job, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of calmed down because, I want to give him time to get things right. So far, I think everything is good in terms of his press conferences, the squad selection so far, but I still think it's early stages for us to be too critical of the squad, because look at this, right? The Cuba game.
No, but 50-50. 50-50. Who criticized the squad?
No, yeah, I feel like you're too harsh, man.
No. 50-50. You not call nobody harsh. No.
Listen.
50-50. Go look in the mirror before you start calling people harsh. Look in the mirror first. Let me just say, it's like having for the thumbnail. I'm talking to you about it.
That's
for the
like
thumbnail,
saying,
them beyond harsh. They're bad. Let me just say this about this. I'd never criticized the squad. What did I say to you a while ago? I said he keeps saying Meran selected a player. Only one player I've selected, said Denzel Hart, for example. Why isn't being looked at? Because he doesn't play for Jamaica and Meran Gordon doesn't know him. My point is this: coach, do your due diligence and stop coming saying Meran Gardens recommend. So I selected. That's what you're saying. Where did I say anybody in the squad should be taken out of the squad?
But all right, look at this, right?
Yeah.
Look at Hargrimson in Ireland, right? He has delegated different responsibilities to different individuals, especially his assistant. His assistant, right? Yeah. I think he has two, and he has delegated some responsibilities to them. So when Steve McClaren just came in, he brought back the squad. I think he brought 18 players from the Copa America squad, right? And then the rest was they were recommended by Meran Gordon. Now in this window, it's basically, I think we have like 6 or 7 players out, and the new players would have been recommendations from Meran Gordon. But what if it is the responsibility of Meran Gordon for now to fill in the blank in terms of those players that would just include?
Are you out of your mind? Listen to the way you say 50-50.
But what if him?
So 50-50. When the team lose, who own it? The Meran Gordon or the coach?
No,
if the team lose, okay.
I wouldn't go as far as to undermine Meran Gordon or the coach, saying that they're not doing their due diligence in terms of the selection of these players. Because look at this, for example, right? I'm also not going to undermine the fans. The fans have been calling for Tariq Magee since the season started, right? Yeah. People say Tariq Magee has been playing good, way. I don't think Meran Gordon or the coach is listening to fans and say, oh, let's just pick Tariq Magee. I think they did their due diligence in terms of watching Tariq Magee and picking Tariq Magee in the squad.
No. Back up. Not they did the due diligence. Meran did his due diligence. And what due diligence him I do? Him know the players from before. You're missing 50-50, you're missing my point. Did I say Magee should be in the squad? In fact, what did I say about Magee? 50-50. Sometimes you make sense, but sometimes, like today, you're contradicting yourself.
No.
You're saying I'm too critical of the squad. I never criticized the squad. I criticize the process, not the squad. They don't conflate the two. Right, I criticize the process, not the squad.
All right, if I'm going to speak on the process, then I think you're a bit too harsh on the process, because I'm saying if the responsibility is for Meran Gordon to fill in the blanks in terms of the new inclusion of these players for now, I don't think it's a problem, because the new players that we're having now, I mean, it's not a bad thing. And I mean, the coach is still fresh in the job in terms of getting to know the squad some more.
I haven't heard the coach mention one person who is not in the squad who he knows and has looked at. Who has he mentioned that he has looked at and not in the squad that he's thought about? I'll wait for your answer.
I mean, you can't cover everything that person.
But here's the thing. You keep punting the question that you get from me and comments I get from me, which are logical, which basically is saying, if the coach is doing his due diligence, if we spend time learning Jamaica universe of players that we have going to play for the national team, he should have an independent perspective on some of these players, not just take what he's given. He should look at he should know players.
But what if the recommendations he also is in agreement with the recommendations? He can still have your own.
No. He's in agreement. No. Wait. They're recommendations. They're not facts. So everybody I heard him say he recommend him. Well, we don't know who he recommend, right? We don't know who Meran recommend. But everybody say this person. Everybody that he talks about, Meran recommends them. He never have no person that he said, I thought about this player. I mentioned to Meran. We came to consensus. Where's his independent perspective as a coach on some of these players that he's bringing in that he's not familiar with?
I mean, fair enough. So far things are good. So just calm down a little.
No man, me talk with Vigor, man. You talk about calm down.
I think the process for now is fine. You know, in terms of the last 2 games, you know, the players they've praised they've praised the coach in terms of the playing style and how comfortable they are with how things are going so far. You know, the training, how they're playing how they played in those 2 games against Cuba and against Honduras as well. So if responsibility is with Marion Garden for now, as I said, in terms of filling in the blanks with some of these players, then I think it's fine. You know, he's the assistant. So I have
never heard of assistant coach being the one who decides who comes into the squad for a football team, club or national team. I have never heard. I was a technical director. I've heard about the head coach being involved. Tell me which club you know where the assistant coach determines who fill out the squad. Tell me anything you know in the world. Let me hear that. I'm listening.
No, obviously, it's rare. It's rare, right?
It's rare. Yeah, we're hearing it for the first time. Of course, it's rare.
But the coach is still new in the job, so I'm saying let's give it a next window, and then let's see what he's saying then. But now we have a couple players that not playing much games. Couple players injured. Rare. I mean, that's just my opinion. Still, we'll big up the squad. Still,
yeah, man. I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call. Bless up. Yeah, man. Hey, Anthony. Yes, Anthony. Anthony, it's hard to get. It's hard to get certain friendlies, you know. Your ranking sometimes determine those. Good evening.
Kranky live.
Yeah, Kranky is live. Yes.
One of them about Kranky live.
Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to coach's desk.
You know, so why at the 914. Anyway, whatever. So the number fooled me. Where I say? Wait. Back up. Where you stop the football? You divorce me.
No, you can't do that.
But up here, track and you know what? You know what? You're smart. You're doing the money there. Me follow you. Anything you do, me start following you on YouTube because you're the leader. So me follow you. That's why you're going forward. By the way, don't miss my show this evening. I have a show 8 o'clock. People, all 102 you know, hit the like button. Me have a show tonight on Brogard. 8 o'clock show on Brogard. The IC investigation. Me do a show on it. And I do a quick 1 hour show on it. So come join me. You can't have no comment. Guys, you have no comment. So even your wife can join in now. And well, no kids. We don't do kids still. But yeah, because I know sports. I say, but I do on my sports channel still.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man.
So me hear the conversation with 50-50.
Yeah.
See, it was the same thought that I had, Kranky, when the squad was selected. I think it's not a bad squad.
Right.
Based players that we have there. Players would have been there and done that. But my thing is that the recommendation from the assistant is not bad, but it is always been highlighted, and I have an issue with that too. Right?
Yeah.
I have an issue with that. I hear 50-50 talk also about what if that's the assigned role of the assistant coach? But even if it is the assigned role of the assistant coach, I would come out and always making it the subject of the conversation at all times, because then critical thinkers like us, we are going to look into it differently.
Yep. Which is exactly what we're doing, actually.
If you go back for Manning's Band did have a live show, and I see anything we put in the comment section. Not a bad squad, but the recommendation, all these recommendations from the assistant, it is kind of not, I wouldn't say troubling is wanting of a better term, but it is something that you have to look into as a fan base and critical thinkers, like I said before. So it is not anything criticizing the coach, but it begs to for people like you and I, Kranky, who are look deep in I think.
Yeah.
Because it just always a come up, and I have no problem with the squad, but I had a problem with that situation that always a come up.
Yeah, and look, I have no, because 50 was saying that I'm too critical when he's thinking of the squad. I'm not criticizing the squad. Could we have picked a better squad? I don't know. Do we have a volume of players out there, given the ones who are unavailable? The only one I saw is
not
Denzel Hall is the only one I thought could have come in instead of Tavan Gray, because we've seen Tavan Gray before. But I don't think Meron Gordon knows about Denzel Hall because he doesn't play in Jamaica. He never played in Jamaica. And that's part of my problem too, which is we're looking far and wide, like the coach says, for players who have the skill set that fit into his squad and what he was trying to accomplish. So the question is, where is he getting that information? I haven't heard him say him doing, apart from the people who he's given, who he's talked to, I haven't heard him say, you know what, I have 100 players and I've hierarchy. I've made him hierarchy the players. I've chronology the players, and I'm talking to all of these XYZ. Some may have passport. Like what happened to, for example, DJ? DJ got Dashway? DJ got Dashway? DJ got Dashway DJ?
Me not sure.
Right?
Based on what 50-50 said to, it could be a case where Meron would have been given the scouting duties for the Jamaican-born player. Nothing is wrong with that.
But your scouting duties can't just be Jamaican-born, right? Because the team is not just Jamaican-born. No,
because there are two coaches, You'd focus on the locally bred one, and he'd focus on the diaspora.
I never heard him mention Trevor Sinclair once. In this whole, I haven't heard the coach mention Trevor Sinclair once. Isn't Trevor Sinclair the assistant coach that he's brought?
Exactly.
He hasn't mentioned him once. He mentioned Meron. Did he say to Trevor, Trevor, go and scout these players. Find out the list of players, go and scout them. Trevor, you go look into Tavan Gray and see if you agree. Or look into John Bell, and then you and Meron come back to me with both of you with a consensus about who. Are we here at Meron Garden?
Yeah.
We're not here Trevor Sinclair once. Yeah, go ahead.
As a coach selling off Kranky, you have to really have some level of trust in your assistant, and I think that is what McClaren is doing. And it's the reason why he's working with him. And remember, he also alluded to the fact, that he's learning on the job. So that is where I would give him a pass. I still have the concern, with that conversation, but I would give him a pass because he's learning on the job pretty much. But the other thing why he's learning on the job, and it seems as if it might be a setup for himself. Also, on the JFF, they did not want to hire Paul Hall allegedly because he wanted to live overseas. But here comes somebody else that they hire, and they have this person who should be doing the national duty, and he's living overseas. So it is kind of a hypocritical way to look at it, so to speak. You get what I'm saying?
So then it goes back to what Maverick always says, right? We treat people of different persuasion differently.
Yeah. So I just
or the coach tell, because I mentioned that at one time and somebody was pushing back on me, like, no, I think it was Football Guru, like situation changes. Really, Guru? Speed said it was not negotiable. Speed said it was not negotiable. Basically, that's what he said. He basically said, yes, that was something that's not negotiable. That's what he said initially, right? When we have this conversation about new coach, all of a sudden a coach come in, coach saying spend enough time on the road, so. And then me here, Speed at top about say you ain't spend time on the road, so therefore, we change these things. So what? So Paul Hall must spend time on the road. But Hagrimson moved back not long after him come to Jamaica, Didn't Hagrimson move back like a few months into him tenure?
Well, I'm not aware.
Because he probably never liked it, because no talk about no food, I best food. Me I say, no. And the man just say, like enough people get vexed. Man say, no, better fish at Denmark. I think better fish at Denmark. And people start get vexed. Because people must think so because we love Jamaican food, everybody loves Jamaican food. But anyway, I digress. You were saying.
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah, man, I mean, this squad is solid defensively, attacking wise, bits and pieces. But when you look on the midfield again, we have seen where the midfield grew over the game, the last two games that we played. Not what we want, but at least you see. So because some people are wondering if this was the same Latibody here, is this the same Casey Palmer? So obviously, the midfield is not what we desire at number 6, but they are pretty much doing a job. And again, for me, the issue is how are they going to operate when they get a midfield that is silkier than they are, doing a lot of ball work, the ball doing the work and stuff like that. So,
wait. Here's a question for you though, because you know that Palmer, Latti, and Bobby put in ton of work, right? So if you bring McGee in, you know how hard McGee try, he still can't do the defensive work. Right? So how does that work? Because he has the skill set. I don't think offensively it's challenge for him. Defensively is a challenge for him. And the coach says not working hard is not negotiable.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a recommendation for the past few games or something that they not play now.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if because there was a massive cry for Maggie by the fan base,
No. And I think he's playing well, right? He's playing well in USL. Yeah.
And he's playing well in USL.
Yeah.
But remember, the same fan base was saying no USL player. So fans are hypocrite, you know. You see me I say?
Yeah.
So
no. If it's a local based player, I'm like, it's okay. If it's like Speedy, no, it's not okay. If it's like Maggie, who they love, it's okay. That's how the fan base is. Base is selective.
Yeah, I call it as it is, you know.
But that's true.
They're hypocrite, man. But
they love Maggie, but they don't love Speedy because Speedy I play basic football. When last Speedy get a call up? When last Speedy get a call up? And Speedy hasn't played a bad game. He may not be the best tackler or the best passer, but he never played no bad game, play an okay game all the time. And I call up Lambert versus Speedy. Me not see how that works. So, I watch Speedy and Lambert play. Me not think it close. That's just me. I know football. I'm a YouTuber. But yeah. No, it's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah, let us see how the team plays again. I mean, what I'm seeing is continuity.
Yeah.
From the coach. And I think the added persons that are being added to the squad each window, I believe it is as a result of them wanting to see these players, to see how they will, affect the team or the system that the coach has going forward. So that's
I struggle sometimes, Minzy, with some things like with Reed, for example. And people say, Kranky call it young you beat the young, but you brought him to the squad before, based on you say you saw him play against Police, right, from Trinidad. And then you drop him for this window, even though you also drop Russell, because Russell's not getting playing time, that's why you drop him. You drop Hector, because he's now no club. Where you drop Reed, for you just seen him play yesterday and say you like him. You like everybody you see. Everybody you see, you like them. You like them, but you're not bringing a squad. But you had in the squad the previous window. What was the criteria to bring the squad in the previous window?
Yeah, that's our next thing.
I mean, so then people say, Kranky, you overly critical. And you're like, people, but the logic escapes me. If the kid is if the thing is that good, why wouldn't you bring him in this window? Because you're short midfielders too. And you bring him. You bring extra forward. It looked like. And you tell me, so you like him from Police game. You like him. You see him, you like him. But it was a Marin Garden referral again.
And he did not get a game.
Yeah.
Him not playing at the window. And then you're not picking him.
Him saying Joffrey because he want experience. The squad full of experience. What can I buy them question people. Stop the night. So why you bring the last time you want experience? Him saying want experience in this team. That's why I'm not bring him.
Why? To play against who? The
same Honduras they play against the last time. Maybe it's Nicaragua. I mean, I don't know. But it's not like you brought in some extra. Who's the midfielder you brought in to give you that experience you're talking about? Who's the midfielder you brought in?
Maggie.
He hasn't seen Maggie play. He hasn't seen Maggie play, so he probably see Reed play more than see Maggie play. Let me tell you this right now, coach. Him see Reed play more than see Maggie play. Can him see Reed play 2 games of live and curse personal. And him call him based on the last time him see him play. And yet him drop him for Maggie, him say him want a 10. Fine, you say I want a 10. All right. When I fight Maggie, because I think Maggie's a good player. I like Maggie, so.
Maggie had the requisite for a 10, man. It's just that when it come on to probably the track back, and that is where probably a Casey Palmer would and Latty Body would have do that duty. So remember, players complement players, you know. So that's why I'm saying not Maggie. I'm just knocking, as you said earlier, the coach and always highlighting that it is the assistant coach who recommend these players.
Yeah, and he does give them, and he'll say, Moran recommend this player. I took a look, take a little peep, and I'm happy to put him in. Wait about that national team people. You're not supposed to peep on nobody. You're supposed to look on them.
Yeah.
In-depth look.
Report.
Yes, in-depth look.
Against this type of opponent or him operating at this type of situation. Everything I feel.
People, let me say this, people, because you guys are saying I'm overly critical sometimes, which probably is true. The last window, he called Jamalo after Bailey pulled out, right? Jamalo was a last-minute call-up. Jamalo started the first game. When we had players in the forward position who you called before Jamalo, that didn't make any sense to me either. I don't think people are putting 2 and 2 together, and try to rationalize this thing, So why would you call Jamalo and he comes after you call Campbell and Dixon and all the other players, and he starts before them? Does that make any sense to anybody? And they're not injured.
Yeah, but remember, so things happen in training too, Kranky. I'll put that into perspective.
But you didn't call him the first time. No. Trust
yes,
me, Minzy, me and you know this. Minzy, me and you know this.
No,
Wait a minute, Minzy, me and you know this. Training, Minzy, which training? And run and kick up a ball and play 5-a-side. Yeah.
Kranky. Them do their local one-sided game.
Yeah.
And if them see a man that was just brought in, do better than a man who did it. That's why I'm get the edge. I saw them think the decision make from coaching sometime in this what you call it, the practice. You have to, that's why we have training, that's why we have practice, that's why them have camps.
I think 95% of teams that when people call them, the coach know him starting 11. 95% of the coach know him starting 11.
Exactly. And if a person breaking our team, obviously it is as a result of what the person did in training.
Yeah,
so next person.
The last window they had what, a day or two to train, like a couple days. There's not enough training in the world to say he should play with Dixon and Campbell, except that maybe he was better than both of them in the coach's eye, but he didn't get called for whatever reason. So that's my cynical view. Because I don't really, you don't see that. You jump in 2 places, 2 players, and we always hear the Dixon and Little not training 24/7. Read about Dixon all the time. So what's the rationale that you use? I don't know. Maybe I'm overanalyzing this thing, but that's the way I view it. But anyway, I in general, I don't have a problem with the squad, except for Denzel Hall, frankly, who I thought they should look at. At least say you look at him, and I haven't said the coach. I look at these players, and I'm assessing them. I haven't said anything about that. No, WeMax. We're not saying that better than both of them. No, WeMax. That's not the point. Why wasn't he called the first time? Yeah, Minzy. That's my point. We're not saying that better. We say, why wasn't he called the first time? Yeah, Minzy. So we don't know. So when is your next show again, Minzy?
Next show. Boy, I mean, I'm voting for hot news now, Kranky. I never know.
Yeah, what news? So hey, Minzy, stop being selfish. Stop being selfish. You know, I'm retired and I'm hungry, and I don't mind having hot news.
Kranky.
So let us pitch you some hot news now.
Kranky, if you hungry because you don't eat from morning, and because you know, you don't have nothing to eat.
Me hungry. We need hot news. Hot news. So even though tonight I'm a hot thing in the teeth, people. For those of you who because good spots, yeah, you're right. For those of you who haven't heard before, I'm doing a show this evening, 8 p.m. on our brilliant, ethical, full of integrity Prime Minister, your Honorable.
We are going to interview him.
No, I'm doing a show on the Integrity Commission's assessment and findings.
Yeah,
I'm doing it a bit differently.
Channel or this?
This channel.
Oh,
but it's going to be on. I do both of them. I do both of them. Anyway, I dip on this one mainly though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That should I know long time, man. You shouldn't send that.
Yeah. I dip on this one. I do like Stephen A. Smith. I just start do things for my channel. It's a sports channel, and I trademark it as a sports channel because I did go to the process with the patent office. But right now, I move fast enough. So I have to just do other things enough on the channel and just mix it up. Get more because I did some Trump thing by me on the channel, and boy, I tell you, you get some vitriol, but you have to get no views. So we'll see how that go. Yeah, man. But yeah. Let me know you do your next show. Maybe come join you or something.
Yeah, man.
All right, sir.
All right. Yeah, man. Big up yourself.
All right, bless up. All right, people. That was Coach Minzy. Same have enough news, even if you give me some news. So yeah, if you want to call in, the number is here. We're not still long enough people because I have some meetings this evening and I have to prepare for my show later on tonight. I want to come embarrass myself. So I hope you guys can join me. But no, do you guys want me to finish playing? Did I finish playing that thing? I didn't, I'm probably too late now. When we finish playing that thing and we talk about, you know what, I'm going to play a couple more and we can talk about some of the, we talk about cataract question. We're not talking about other questions and play some more people.
So I was happy with that. The biggest thing I was pleased about was the fans. Oh, wow. That's my first experience of a home game. And I can't wait for the Honduras game in 10 days' time, because the fans were tremendous. I hope they continue to support the team like they did, to play the music, to beat the drums, and to give the team energy when it needs energy. So I was really pleased with that. What we need to improve on from the last camp, I think progressing in the build-up was good, but progression into the middle third and the final third, I think that needs to improve. I think in the final third, we did create 27 chances against Cuba. Very, very good opportunities. And if we'd have won that game 1-0, 2-0, we'd have been satisfied with the 3 points and also the chances created and the play that was. But I still think in the final third, we can be better. And a big aspect of the game, which is going to be important in the next two, is set plays. We only had 3-4 training sessions, and that is what pleased me the most, is that the players took on board quite a few of the messages. But we need to get better. We can be better, and for the next two games, we need to be better. So what do we need to see? We want to progress. These two games are very, very important. You know, we're Jamaica. We're the number one team in the Caribbean. Everybody is trying to shoot us down. And that will be Nicaragua. That will be Honduras again. They will be seething from losing that home game. So we know these are going to be two difficult games. Against Nicaragua, what are the challenges? Playing on artificial surface, that is a big challenge for us. They're used to it, we're not. That's a mindset. So we need the right mindset to play on artificial surfaces. They are a good team. They are a possession team. And that might at times be frustrating. So emotional control in the first game is going to be very, very important for us. What I want to see against Honduras, actually, I think we need to press better. I think we need to keep the ball better, and that's in general. I want to control the game in and out of possession, and that means pressing better, and that means also dealing with the ball better. I think we need to do that. But the things that we need to keep, the spirit, the hard to beat, the way we defended the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes in Honduras was, they put some balls into the box and we had to really defend for our lives, and they did that. And also, we talked about it being a squad game, that the first 11, they're the starters. The most important people are the finishers. And I was pleased with the way that like K-Roy came in, Kahim came in, Jamal came in, Deshaun at half-time, Bernard came in. What a difficult job he had to do. And the subs came on and made a difference, made an impact and got us through. So we're very, very pleased with that. And before I probably take any questions, I'd like to congratulate the Cavaliers on reaching the semi-final of the Caribbean Cup. I was at the game last night.
So we'll get to the questions, people. At least some of the questions, not all of them. We're going to skip some of them. But one thing the coach mentioned, which I'm pleased with, and which I emphasize that we need to make sure we continue, is the fan attendance at the game. I thought it was a brilliant spectacle. I thought just the pictures remotely, you can actually feel the vibes through the screen. And I think that's an imperative that should be continued, that we need to make sure that we're attending the games actually. Right? Obviously, those who are not in Jamaica can't do so unless they go to Jamaica. But for those who are on the island and have an opportunity to do so, and it's good games, actually. The Honduras game will be a good game. They actually outplayed us the last time we played them. And even though we've beaten them like, 6 or 7 in a row, frankly, the last 2 or 3 times, it shouldn't have been that way. So the luck has been on our side. Obviously, we played to win, and we gave a good account of ourselves, but it's not like we dominate them. So it's going to be 2 tough games. Nicaragua is leading the zone. We haven't seen much of them. We know who Honduras are, and they're a good team. And they, as the coach says, they play ball possession. But the same crowd we had for the Cuba game, which was a disappointing outcome, given how we dominated the game, we need that or better for the game that's coming up, actually. So my hope is that everyone goes out and watch the game. So I do agree with the coach with that, which is that fan support. And I think the players probably truly appreciated it. And you could hear it from the players. They do appreciate The fan attendance in the stadium, good. His assessment of the games, yeah, he's right. I thought the Honduras game was a tough game. We made some really bad mistakes in that game, but came up, bless up Fitzroy, but came up with a victory, which is good. But I'm not sure we can play that way in the next 2 games and expect to have the same level of luck. Well, some of it's not luck. Some of it's just we have a brilliant goalkeeper, period, people. Brilliant. He's not good. He's a brilliant goalkeeper. And the reason why Jamaicans don't talk about Blake, because all you can say about him are good things. We have had a conversation about him can't play well with him foot. You know what? We're not here because him stop the ball from going on the net, which is the most important thing. Brilliant goalkeeper, and one who always produces. So when people may criticize Lowe, they criticize Antonio, and they criticize anybody, Blake really get criticism. And you know why? Because he always delivers, like the mailman. Well, no, email I will deliver because sometimes I'm going to jump mail. So it deliver, but not deliver the right place. Blake always delivers, people. And so long as we have him around there, that's already 2 goals saved. 2 difficult goals saves, which can only help us in being successful. So obviously we need to have the right defense in front of him and midfield in front of him. And McGee in the midfield may help. Right? It may help. So we'll see how that goes. So let me finish this and then as I said, come to stay on long on the stream.
Another good performance and well done to them. Hope they progress.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Before we get into questions from members of the media, just for persons that are in the benefit here.
And people, I don't know something miserable already now. So I'm not on that now. We've been on now for over an hour. There is 147 people in the chat, and it's only 75 likes. That's not right, people. Do better. Hit the like button and subscribe, because the subscription need to grow. As I say, when I get 2,000 by the end of this month, I quit. Well, I not quit. I do politics. I not do this because it take too long.
Physically, just to go through that list together, and of course you would see it on your screen as well for those that are virtual as well. The goalkeepers Andre Blake, Shaquan Davis and Jamali Waite. The defenders Dexter Lembekisa, Dishon Bernard, Greg Lee, Damian Lowe, John Bell, Richard King, Tavon Gray, Ethan Pinnock and Mason Holgate. In midfield, Casey Palmer, Karoy Anderson, Bobby Reed, Joel Latibodere and Tyreek McGee. And the attackers, Ronaldo Cephas, Norman Campbell, Mikel Antonio, Demarai Gray, Kaheem Dixon, and Romario Williams. So now we can open the floor for questions from members of the media. Please raise your hand, indicate, and wait until the microphone reaches to you so that you can ask your question. Thank you very much. Questions from members of the media, please raise your hand. We'd appreciate that. All right, go ahead, Mario.
Coach, MG Sports TV here. Question, based off the profile of players you've selected and based off what happened in the last camp, are you confident that the profile of players that you brought in for this camp would be suited for what you want to do based off what you did in the last camp?
Yeah, I think so. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked them. I think one person I left out was Cephas. I spoke with him before the last camp, and he was having problems with his club in Turkey, and he solved them problems. He's back playing. He's fit. He's in rhythm, scoring goals, and I know what he can do for Jamaica. I've seen him in every squad in Copa and Nations League, and he's a big asset for Jamaica. So that profile, I have no question, is right. The others, this is the job. I'm learning on the job, learning a lot on the field and off the field, and to get results and win football matches, we have to get the best players, and to get the best players, we have to look at other players, look at every player that we possibly can. and that's natural through injury, but also through form. So we're always, and we say to every Jamaican player out there, there's always an opportunity and always a chance, because we're searching for good players, and we're searching for a good team, and we're searching for a team that can qualify, and the vision and everything is towards the World Cup 2026. That's what we want to qualify for. So everything that we do, every person that we bring in as an opportunity, and we say that's the opportunity to be part of the squad that qualifies for 2026. That's our vision, and that will always be. So, yeah, we look at the profiles in training, minutes in games, starters. I brought Jamal very late in the last window, and he started the first game. So everybody's got an opportunity to, it's a clean sheet of paper for all the players. And I think I saw that from the intensity of training and the games, the last camp. And that's what I see again this camp.
I don't think it was a horrible question, but I think it's how you phrase the question. I would be more thinking about, can he shed some light on the recruiting and selection process? What has he done to get up to speed, to know the players, to have an in-depth understanding, view, and perspective on the players and their capability? Has he gotten the universe of players who are available for the national team, who may have passport or are pursuing those? Does he have that list? Have you had a chance to sit down and watch them in person or via some video? You know, what has he done to educate? Because he keeps saying he's learning. What's the timeline that you think he has in place where he get to think he has a good know and understanding of those players that he thinks can have the capability to play, and when he get a feel for him having that knowledge versus needs necessarily to leverage his assistant coach to help inform his view? So it's not a horrible question, it's how the question is positioned. Because I think it's important to know what he's looking for, right?
All right, go ahead, Dwight. Dwight Fraser, IRFM.
Yes, thanks so much. Good morning again, Coach.
Good morning.
My question is, earlier on you had mentioned about searching for players and looking at player profile. Have you gotten a chance to see our Premier League? And if so, are there any players in mind that you perhaps might be considering for national duties?
So, no comment. May I say something? No comment. I'm keep moving. Keep it moving. I'll keep it moving.
It's very interesting coming in as a coach. You're always focusing on the short term, and the short term is the now. The short term is the next 2 games. We've had 2 already, and it's about winning football matches. So that's the short term. But believe you me, in the long term, we're searching. We're searching the whole world, really, because we want the best players that are Jamaican, that can play for Jamaica, to play for Jamaica. So we're always searching. Recruitment is one of the broadening the squad. So we want to broaden the squad by scouting the world. But you know what? The key thing is developing players on this island and developing young players. And that's also in mind in terms of medium to long term, is how do we develop? Because our vision is 2026. But the JFF's vision should be not just that, but 2030, 2034. And that means that players get you qualified for tournaments. So we need to improve the players. We can do that in the short term by recruiting around the world, but medium to long term, that's about developing your own players. And as I said in the previous press conference before the last camp, there's tremendous progress over the last 3 years in terms of coach development. And you can see that with the player development. And we want these players more experience in Europe, in the US, wherever around the world, to be playing at a high level of football. That will improve them. So in terms of our vision, yes, we are short term, but believe you me, in the medium to long, it's about development of players.
Yes, a question right here. You can go ahead.
Yes, Coach. Daniel Ben from Sportsmax. one notable absentee is Norman Campbell. Can you give us a
So if you're gonna be a reporter, people, where do you come from? Where the reporter come from? Should we rewrite it? When come from? When come from, people? Sport magazine come from? Wait.
reason for his absence, and also what's the latest on the integration of Mason Green into the squad?
Norman Campbell is in the squad. We read out his name a few minutes ago.
Okay.
People, if you are trying to, YouTuber would make a mistake. People, I say this: YouTubers would not make that mistake. You know why we would make the mistake? Because we live and breathe them thing. Yeah, we not make the mistake there. It's not a hobby for us; it's full-time job. So I'm say about that. You can't come and ask questions about a player when you're in a squad. And like the last time with Bailey in a squad, but them drop off and put in and drop in lower. Anyway.
I think I answer it on Mason Greenwood. It's the same as everybody else. There's a process going on behind the scenes. And as I said, we're planning for 2026. And, once we identify players, bringing them in, is a process, and it can be a long process. We're very fortunate that we spoke in length with the president in terms of recruitment and bringing players in and having an influence over the government or the prime minister in maybe speeding some processes up so we can get players in quicker, and that will benefit the team, and that will benefit the JFF, and that will benefit this island and all Jamaicans around the world. So that's the vision. That's what we want.
So let me say this, people. You remember earlier I was saying that the coach was relying upon Gordon too much for his insight and perspective and to do his own due diligence. I was informed that the coach is familiar with Denzel Hall, not McClaren, Marion Gordon. So Marion Gordon, if you're familiar with Denzel Hall, you need to explain why you call Gray again. We have seen Gray enough versus Denzel Hall, for example. Or you think Denzel Hall is not good enough?
Any follow-up, Daniel? No? All right, Mr. Blake, you may proceed.
Morning, Coach, President, and press officers. The question might be directed to a follow-up on Daniel's question to the President Ricketts. Can you tell us about any protocols that have been established between the JFF, Ministry of Sport, for...
Before I ask the question, people, me tell you a question. The question Cataract asked, the two of them, two brilliant questions. Well, not two, because Cataract's like about 5 questions and one, about 3 questions. But listen to what Cataract is asking. Because them kind of question if you ask people. Because some of you have been asking these questions for a while. Them a question if you ask. Not the one about Ravel, but the one about PICA, Sports Ministry, football, JFF, right? The president answered them brilliantly, by the way. But listen to Cataract question. And then a question if you ask a press conference. So British reporters ask questions, quality questions, Cataract.
Affairs and PICA, specifically to address the support for the recruitment. And then I have a question for the president. But a number of players who have attempted to gain their citizenship, there are some simple errors like a 1 letter misspelled in a grandfather's name that has held up processes for months. And I'm just asking if there's shed some light on any protocol or working relationship.
Well, we do have a working relationship with PICA, but like you did mention, the process can be very tedious. And again, you did say that for some very simple reasons, and sometimes these reasons we are not aware until weeks, maybe months after. But we have at our disposal both ministers of Sport and Gender Affairs, Minister Grange and Minister Kamina Johnson. So when we have any major glitch or any major issues, we can always turn to both ministries. At Sports, the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Denzel Thorpe, has always been there for us. But like you said, and it is so very important, it might seem trivial, but sometimes some really very simple, basic mistakes would have cost us months. Because, for example, we would have gotten a passport and a birth certificate from a grandparent of a prospective player. And when we were almost through with the process, the complaint came in that one word was not legible enough. So we had to redo the birth certificate. We had to go find the grandparent, had to go through the entire process. So like you have said, we do not have a formal protocol, so to speak, but we do have a relationship.
Just a follow up, and then I'll ask the question straight to the coach. Because we are about solutions, could the JFF look about recommending a policy in 2024 where DNA is used instead of these old, faded, illegible documents to determine relationships between persons, as is done when you're applying for United States citizenship? I
don't think that would be the purview of the JFF.
No, a recommendation.
Well, we could make a recommendation for sure. But yeah, this would have to be from a government perspective and specifically from PICA. But there's some credence to the suggestion, and maybe in a formal way or an informal way, we could make the suggestion and then see what the response is. But it makes sense. It does make sense.
And the final question to the coach. I'm sorry for not introducing myself. He played Dre Anywhere the TV, also known as Cataract. Coach, one of our fan favorites, Ravel Morrison, has recently signed to a club in the third tier of the UAE League. I just wanted to ask, one, what's your opinion of that signing? And two, is there a policy regarding the level at which a player would have to be playing to be considered for the senior national men's team? And the part B, there's a notable absence of an under-23 squad. And is that affecting the transition and recruitment of some younger players into the system of Jamaica football?
Interesting questions and very good questions. No, any level. If players are good enough and they're progressing and we think they can play at a certain level, our level, then we will look at them. But believe you me, we have people out there in every country with their eyes on Jamaican heritage players. So that process will always continue. About the 23s, it's a possibility. I think it's early, and I think it's something that we're learning also about, the last, what have we been in the job? 2 months? Second camp. We're focusing on the games, on trying to win these games to qualify for the quarterfinals of Nations League, to improve our ranking so that we get a decent draw if we get through the next stages of the World Cup and World Cup qualifiers, and also the Gold Cup is important as well. So, as I say, in the short term, there's lots of planning and lots of scouting of players at all levels. Because honestly, you go in the UK, it's not just the Premier League, not just the Championship, League One, League Two, even non-league players are now developing to the capabilities of playing national team football. So we're looking for the best players possible, every nook and cranny that we can.
So a couple of comments on that. First of all, Cataract, well done to you. Brilliant questions. Not one, all three of them. And also the recommendation about PICA and what should be done. Look, PICA is doing PICA can be challenging. I've gone through PICA. I had no problems, to be honest. I think my process took like 4 months. And I thought people were very cordial, very professional, extremely professional. It went smoothly. And if your documentation is right, you ain't got no problems. But I can also understand Pika saying, look, if a name is spelled wrong, we know this happened, given the Windrush generation, what happened before. But I have to make sure my documentation is right when he gets elevated, because they have to be signed off as citizenship by those who are above me. And I can't go and say something is missing, then I'm held accountable, right? You got to be right. Now, Cataract's suggestion about DNA is brilliant. US used DNA. England used DNA, but only after other methods have been exhausted. If they can't substantiate something else, like, for example, if you have a kid and you didn't put the kid in the first year of birth, so it's 3-4 years afterwards, they will push back on that. But if you can, but they will take DNA as evidence. So Cataract's suggestion is brilliant. His suggestion also about the question about Ravel and his third tier, second division in the a third tier, but I think it's maybe first division in UAE. I think that's also a very, very good question concerning does that preclude him from being considered? And the third question about the source of talent for your senior team is going to come from your probably under 20 and under 23 teams. And the question that arises is, given the last time we saw the under 20 perform, even though 14 players qualified and put in the squad, here is my question, which is, are we looking at any player who may be in the range of the Dixon and the Whisper age, who are not born in Jamaica, who qualify for Jamaica, and have the potential to play for Jamaica? Because all I'm seeing is we put in the Reed, we put in the Dixon, we put in the Whispers of the world. And I'm sure there are other players out there who have similar gravitas, similar capabilities, similar potential, who may want to play, but we're not even looking at them. And how is this coach getting that information to inform his view? We know about the Omari Hutchinsons of the world, and the other kid, what's his name, Mothersill, whatever his name was, but there are other kids out there, and I got to list a bunch of those kids. Maybe one or two of them could come into the team and play better than even some of the players we have in the midfield. What about the Splats of the world, for example? They could be considered. So all I hear is about this experience, but then you bring in Dixon, you bring in Reed. So then you said, I contradict your statement, coach. Oh, by the way, understanding that the coach is familiar with Denzel. Well, let me rephrase that. The coach knows about Denzel Hall, right? So I was saying he probably doesn't know about Meran. Meran not know. I've been corrected to say Meran knows, the coach knows. And the coach still chose Tavon Gray. So is that because of Meran's suggestion, coach, or is that you just decided, you know what, me now bring the player? Apparently the coach said now bring the player. So I don't even understand that either. Maybe he saw tape and didn't like how he plays. I don't know. I've seen Tavon play. He's okay. So I don't know how that works, people. But Cataract question, all through the question. In fact, it's 3.5. Almost 4 questions. 1 to the president, 1.5 to the president, and 2 to the coach. Those are questions you don't want to go to press conference and people just asking questions that you know the answer to, or you just like, you know what, throw away. You want to ask questions that we all learn something from. Right. So we now know the coach does have a restriction about where you'll play, because in the Premier League, I can tell you in England, I don't see them picking anyone who's not in the Premier League level or in a big league. So they pick Gomez from France. He'll pick Bellingham from La Liga, but these are all high-profile leagues and high-profile players. I don't see no championship player in the team, both in England and outside of England. They have players playing. They don't even pick some of the players who play in Serie A, for example. I don't think any Serie A player is there. So it does beg the question about that entirety of that process. By the way, people, 170 people in the chat, only 98 likes. Come on, people. That I understand you would like it. Every time I come on the channel, I see something. I whine and complain about likes. Someone will come and say, me now press the like button. Someone will just acquiesce and say, you know what, me just press it so you can't stop complaining. So press it so you can't stop complaining. Press it so you can't stop complaining. Come on, other people watch the video. Right? Now is the for YouTubers, now it's like Thanksgiving for YouTubers. Now it's like Thanksgiving for shopping, for retailers. Right? Whenever we come to the Reggae Boyz time and Reggae Boyz window, that's where YouTubers, at least the ones who cover the Reggae Boyz, get most of their views. So that's why they need all your likes now more than ever. So you hit their channel, like their channel, so they can get as many views as possible. Don't be stingy with it. See? Don't be stingy with it. I'm not sure we should play any more of this tape, because after Cataract question, never see nothing else. But I love Cataract questions, though. I think they're brilliant questions. Really good questions. And not only having questions, because sometimes we have questions, but we have no suggestion for remedy the situation. The thing about the DNA thing, which Pika should consider, because I'm not sure they've thought about it. And the DNA thing will cost some money to you. That's another thing too. So people will pay more money. You file for the thing, and you will pay more money to get DNA. Maybe JFF is start underwrite that JFF. Even though the players, you're going to say the players don't have money. Some of them have no money. especially the under 20. So maybe that's something JFF should consider, which is, you know what? I think JFF needs to do more when it comes to trying to bring players on board. I think they need to do more, just like Catherine is saying, which is find ways to work with the Minister of National Security, Minister of Sports, JFF, and to be able to expedite the passport issuance process and citizenship issuance process. We need to do that better. The person who asked about Whisper should be blocked from future press conferences. I don't know. I don't think it's a fear. It's not a fear question in the context of the player is supposed to be injured. It's a tough one, right? You would think that the coach would know players who have significant potential and was in the national team before, but I can understand why he didn't know. Simon was trying to save him, but it was hard to save him. It wasn't a good look. Especially a lot of people in Jamaica know Whisper, right? We all know Whisper, right? It's not like a player who's on the fringes. Well, a little bit on the fringe, but is he being on the fringes is by his doing, not because of his ability, in my view, anyway. So that was a tough one, actually. So I can understand it for the coach. At the same time, it talks about my earlier point, which is, do due diligence, coach. Do due diligence. Put in the work, coach. Put in the work. Coming now, got the feeling you're putting the work in a coach. So, okay, if the coach now go recruit people and assess people, why am I doing when him leave Jamaica? Why am I doing? Why am I in a bar in England? People go a bar enough. Why am I doing? Me just curious. What is he doing? Maybe the coach need to tell us what he does when he's not in Jamaica. He don't live at Jamaica. Come on Jamaica a few days and then go back to England. So is he traveling the country, recruiting, looking at players? Because I've heard him talk about that, in this conference, that he's looking at other players, We talk about people like Cameron Archer, Kyle Walker-Peters, James Justin, all the people that have Jamaican heritage. He hasn't talked about that. So I don't know what he's doing when he's not. Am I being too critical? People don't tell me. I don't know what he's doing when he's not in Jamaica. I don't know what he's doing. Right? Because the players are not here. I don't know what he's doing. He's not in Jamaica going around looking at JPL talent or going to high schools, looking at high school talent and saying, you know what, maybe I find a gem like how we found Bibi Garner way back when, who played for Harborview and then played for Bolton and played for Jamaica at 17 for the World Cup. I don't hear him doing any of that. So if him not up on the island and look on talent, because somebody asked a question about JPL, which I didn't want to comment on. I don't hear him saying going to the States and looking at the Tavan Grays of the world and Maggie of the world. I don't hear him saying going to Holland to look at Denzel Hall. So I try to figure it out, people. I know it's so critical, but I don't know if I do it. Yeah, I'm right on system, but what is he? But he might get paid $500,000 a year, right? So you have to do something for the money. You can't just come for 2 weeks and put in some run a couple of times and then go back to your yard. You're supposed to put in work every day. You get paid for the whole year and I get paid for Windows. So I don't understand. Is it Steve McClaren selecting because never heard a head coach keep on saying assistant told him about? Yeah, we've been talking about that. The whole concept of him saying Meran. But people, my understanding is I would just provide a text a while ago to say Meran God knows Denzel Hall. The coach knows about Denzel Hall. The coach is the one who decided not to call Denzel Hall. All right. So anyway. And I got another text here from a good source, which is a great point, actually, which I actually thought about but never mentioned, right? But there's lineage. So the person mentioned to me is like, it's going to be very difficult to have DNA to substantiate the veracity of the person if the person has died, which is a great point, which would apply to nobody players in England. Right? I did think about that, but I also thought about they could have DNA for that person that they may have gotten for the father way back when. So, because most of these people are second or third generation, right? They're not first generation. So it's a great point, actually. That it may be difficult if the person has died. I did think about that one, actually. Did mention it. But I would think it's still a great point to make because some of these people are first generation, a few of them. Okay. I was told that the coach did see Denzel Hall and wasn't impressed. So they seem to great. But people got to think about this though. See Denzel Hall and wasn't impressed. Because him get beaten off. But here's the question. Is it Tajan great? Is it the level of competition this year? But maybe the coach decided that the player don't impress him. And that's a good point. I've also been told that people have been asking about Ian Frey. So I get enough intelligence coming people. Ian Frey was provided to the coach. the coach like Ian Frey, but it hasn't linked connected yet, which is the player have to make the decision, say I'm ready. They're not ready. So maybe it's a good point actually, which is the coach is getting intelligence. So maybe Miranda do a brilliant job, who knows? Because as somebody just tell me, say, you know what Denzel and team get beaten off. Coach was impressed. So here's a question for everybody though. Because if you mind with them thinking of people, mind, you know. So him see Denzel in a game where him not play well and team get about 9-1 or something. So you never watch Reed play in the under 20 and get similar score. I'm going to do the more recent police game. Because level of competition we talk about the people. Denzel Hall play in a first division at every DC, you know. Right? Reed player in the under 20 in this region. So I'm just curious about them thing there and the assessment. I know I'm seeing against police, but police are the right competition. I've said this people. The competition in the Caribbean is not to use to judge our players anymore. Right? When we see certain team go play a team outside of the Caribbean, it's a whole different ballgame. They cannot be the judge anymore. When we play Central America and North America, that's the judge, people. North America, Canada, Mexico, and USA. Central America, we have Costa Rica and the Honduras and the Panamas. We're no longer benchmarking against Caribbean. Holgate is a good selection. No, you guys have heard me talk about Holgate, right? If you know, I complain about Damian Lowe, yeah, one or no. Holgate is a good player. Decent technically. He dropped from Everton down to the championship. But Holgate can be rash too. So when I beat up Damian, who don't know some support, because I'm going to keep 1-1 tell me say. Like nobody can catch me otherwise. Yes, Damian rash. Showing the Damian yellow card, one every three game. But Damian only gets 7 yellow card them carrier. Enough that still over 300 game. Pinot let him get yellow card, much as red card. But Damian can play football. In fact, the last game Damian play, I'll keep the stats them. I'll frame the stats them for Damian. Since me I get beaten by Damian, me not care. Last game in play, 27 or 28 passing, 1 or 2 long passes killing him stats. I mean, no say Remax will kill me, but I don't care Remax. I don't care. I can kill me all you want. So when I say he also didn't play against FC20. No. What he said about Holgate was this, which is somebody's saying Holgate don't have papers. I know, but he's going through the process. I was told this a while ago. He's pretty close, actually. Didn't you hear the coach say? I think the coach is basically saying you having papers, you just haven't gotten FIFA clearance. That's what I'm hearing. No, Triple, I haven't got yellow card. You know what? I should do the assessment on Holgate. I have to look it up. I just go off a Holgate based on what I know, just personally watching play. I'm not going off of any stats. Like Lowe, initially I said that about Lowe, and then I went to do my research. I am going to go to, let me take this out. I am going to go to the stats and check on Holgate. I'm going to do that this weekend. It shouldn't take me that long, but I don't want to do it now. I'm not going to do that long. But I'm going to go to the stats and check on Holgate because that's important, actually. Because I actually didn't know Damian's yellow card was that bad. Because Damian pushed back upon me when we interviewed for a management program. When he was told that I criticized him for his aggressiveness and his yellow card, whatever, and he pushed back. But Damian, you have too much yellow card, my youth. 100 out of about 300 and something game. What the number is? A big number. But I know I've watched Holgate a lot. Watched Holgate at Everton through his entire career at Everton. Haven't watched him a lot since then, but I know not too long ago he got another red card. So no, he's very close. I know that, Jason. I mean, I was giving the information. I know he's very, very close. I think it's when you get this, people don't realize this, I got my citizenship, my passport on the same day, right? You can do it simultaneously, You don't have to do it separately. So when you go take your pictures for your citizenship, you can pay for the passport at the same time. And when I got mine, I got both issued simultaneously. Someone said, Ogie doesn't play, making a move. Yeah. Somebody is telling me that James Justin is capped. I didn't know Justin was capped. I thought he wasn't capped. Somebody says capped. Well, I stopped talking about James Justin then because I thought he wasn't. I thought he didn't play now. Somebody say he played in the National League game. Oh, well. I thought when he recovered from his ACL, he would have been available. But we should start pursue Kyle Walker-Peters unless he's not interested. No, Triple E, but I'm Triple E. I'm telling you what I've seen Triple E. Forget about me I've seen him play throughout his career. This is not 1, 2, or 5 or 10 games. watch a lot of the game. I watch his yellow card, I watch his red card. But I need to get the total number, right? Because sometimes that informs your view really well. And the question is, what's a good number? When I did the comparison the other day, somebody was saying, oh, you bring into play Ramos in the mix and Ramos in the mix, and Romario in the mix. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to show some of the most aggressive player in world football versus Low, who we think is aggressive. If he was on that level, he would be a charter bet. No, we'll see. I mean, he played for Everton for quite a bit. Who knows what's happening with the kid? We'll see what happens. But if he comes out, he'd probably start at right back against Honduras. The thing about him, he's versatile. He can play center back, he can play right back, he can play CDM. So we'll see. I think he'll play against. Look, when a coach knows a player, there's no time to be taken. There's no time to be taken for me. International window, you don't make decision based on what player does in training international window. I don't buy that. You make decision based on what they're doing at the club level. Now, if they play international games and they don't play well, it's a different story. But if you use training as a criteria, then people just fly how much miles to come, and unless you had like a 2-week or 3-week window like you had for Copa, that's a different story. I am sure Sports says, Kranky, will your top players play 90 minutes on turf? We don't have no top. We have Maggie. What do you mean? Mr. Maggie love turf. Maggie is a turf. So I think Maggie will be on the turf. Look, I like Maggie, people. Let me say this. I like Maggie. I watch Maggie play up close and personal. I like Maggie. I think defensively he's going to be challenged. People hit the like button, man. Match up here, Potter. No, hit the like button, star. No bother with it. No, hit the like button. So somebody the stats for me. Holgate, 137 senior caps, 31 yellows, 3 reds. So if you did the ratio, his reds are probably a little bit more than Lowe's. I think Lowe has about 7, and a half of those were yellows to red. I think he has about 3 direct reds. The question is, are they yellow reds, Jason Guna, or are they straight reds? No, Conrad attack. Conrad said these players should be in teams. Splat, Casanova covers. I don't know about all 3, Conrad, but they should be considered. I don't hear them being considered. So I'm sure Sports says Antonio, Bobby, Gray, Pinnock, etc. I don't know. We got to ask them if they've ever played on turf. Turf is a different animal than the people. I used to play on turf and get them AstroTurf burn and get your knees feel away. The only thing on turf, people, let me say this. It depends on the turf too, because turf have improved over the years. I used to play on the really rough turf way back when. The ball bounced through on the turf much better than it does on a bumpy grass field. So you may struggle with the turf. In fact, you probably shouldn't wear boots on turf. But nowadays, they have the half grass, half turf thing. So maybe you can do that. But the bounce is much better. So those used to playing on nice surfaces will have the challenge of the turf, but enjoy the smoothness of the surface. Yeah, but in the old days, they give yellow much more quicker nowadays. Today's yellows were just today's red are yesterday's yellows. Put it that way. Yeah, he was on the team with Demari Gray. He was on the team with How come I haven't heard anything about Ben Godfrey? Is Ben Godfrey cap tied? I heard Godfrey was supposed to be in the process, and then his name just disappeared. Ben Godfrey to me is a better player than Holgate. And I know Ben is in Serie A, but he's a better player than Holgate. And he can also play like Holgate, center back and right back. Not sure he has CDM capabilities, but Ben can play right back and center back. And he's at one point, I think he may not have been that far from the England team. Now the distance has increased significantly, but he may not have been that far at one point. Come, people, hit the like button. The like should be more than people in the chat, people. Come on, hit the like button. Yes, I would agree. And it depends on the turf. If the turf is in Nicaragua, it can't be the best turf. I hate to say that, but you got to have resources for the new turf. So the turf is tough, but the ball bounce better, right? We can't argue that one. Probably bounce spinning on the stadium field. You're not going to control the ball and the ball just jump over your foot. So you understand the turf. It bounce a little bit different from grass, but the service can be hard, actually. And if the sun is hot, 10 times, wow, you feel it through your foot them. Yeah, I think he did W, but I'm not sure if it was an official game. So we should check that out, actually. He's a good player. I think he lost his way a little bit at Everton, especially when they move him to right back. But he's a decent player. If the turf is old, sorry for the English with them. And you know, think to people, you can get injured on turf too, you know. If you step a certain way, you can get injured. So that we probably shouldn't play Antonio then. So, you know, Antonio can be a walking, you know what. Yeah, low is about 1/3. Yeah. So he has 3 red and 112. So they're very similar. See what I'm talking about? They're very similar. They're very similar, Jason Guna. They are brothers. They are brothers in yellow card and red cards. So I'm gonna say, isn't Low Jamaica high scoring defender? I don't know, actually. It's a good question. I've seen him score a few goals. I'm not sure if he's the high scoring defender, but the one thing about when I brought the Rama stats, right now Rama scored like 100+ goals for his national team. He scored some ridiculous number. He was like 1 in 7 or something for goals, which is ridiculous for our center half. Which, you know, he scored. You know what? Low should be doing that, like how we see with I'm sure sports. You're part of the conversation. I know we practice set pieces, but you know what? We need to do like Arsenal. We have some big defenders, and Pinnock has scored goal in the Premier League. Low has scored goal. We need to do a better job of score, and Antonio is big. We need to get the Arsenal recipe for how you do set pieces and be able to score more goals from set pieces. Because I know when I watched the team practice in Dallas, I was very impressed with, even though they kicked us out after a while, but the set piece setup, actually. The same thing you see Arsenal do, especially on the right or left line, where they run something up under the byline on the touch line and throw the ball into them to play it over the far post. That's all practice, people. That's not by chance. Yeah, I agree with that, people. So, and you can get injured on turf, actually. But I played on turf for a long time. Maybe that's why I have no knees nowadays. 25 more games played for Olga. No. I think about Jason. I had the numbers, Jason. So when you go in to look at it, Jason, you have to take the national team number and the club number and add them up, right? Because what happens is they don't give you when you go and press on all competition, it doesn't give you national team. They only give you the club competition. So you get all the club competition. You have to add up both to come up with the totality of how much games they play, and then you add up the yellow cards and red cards. That's how I did it, actually. It didn't give me all at once. It didn't give me all at once, actually. When I looked at it, it didn't give me all. So I had to go add them up. Took a while. It didn't take a long time, but you just got to know. When you click on, I forgot where I got it from, but it gives you all competition, but doesn't give you the national team. You add that number in. That's why Low was like 1 in 3 or just over 3. And I think from what you're showing me for Holgate, he's very, very similar. Because he hasn't played for England national team. So the club competition would be his total. But no, it's interesting, people. Back to the squad. As I said before, it's hard to criticize the squad when we are very familiar with the totality of players we have, and most of the players that came were the ones that we'd expect to come. I do have questions about Adrian Reed, given he got called for the last 2 windows. Didn't understand the logic. I can understand based on the communication I've got about Denzel Hall and why. I don't understand why we're not thinking about some of the more younger players, like the Splats of the world, doing some recruiting on them, and assess whether or not we think they're good enough, even though they may not be playing at the highest level. Because we have players playing at Gray's not playing at the highest level in Saudi Arabia. It's maybe the highest level in Saudi Arabia, but in terms of footballing, I don't think it's better than probably the championship in England. So we should look at some of the younger players who we want to cap early too and come give them the experience, just like we give him Reed the experience, if that's the way he got put in. Because I struggle with why he's not including this in this camp if he came to the last 2 camps and we didn't bring Russell in, so there's more midfield space. We didn't bring in DJ and those players. I don't understand that. Low, last club red is yellow was not for a foul, but yeah, but I am sure sports, you can't guide people them out and just get red and yellow in no time. Like you play about, you increase your average significantly. You can't do that. Right? The red card was not handball. Yeah, he's about 1 in 3, Jason. I think he has more than that, Jason. You got to add in cup games for Jason. The numbers are pretty close. I think his stats is about 1 in 3. 3, 5, 15, 30, 159. It's just over 1 in. It's just over 1 in 3 actually. It's less than 1 in 4. People are saying Malik. Yeah, we have young players out there. People, we need to call them. Bring them in, come get experience. Make them just like we bringing Hutchinson way back when, and whatever he's doing. Bringing some of the younger people to come in, assess the environment, get to know the coach, get to know the players. Know the office actually is no longer a ghost town, people. No, the office is no. So you have to, if you have people like Bobby Reed, you have to persevere, because the man used to play in front of a big crowd and then come to Jamaica and it's like a ghost town. I don't see a few people that run nice shadows. Last game, enough people turn out. You're the coach exalting the fans, lauding the fans, indicating to them that, look, we appreciate you being here. That we love the drums, we love the music. In probably, I think him listening kind of music there, but anyway, he love the drum, him love the music, him love the vibes. That's when you're a football player, people, and the best thing that is I feel the vibes, and the opponent also feels it in a negative sense, right? The crowd can motivate the team, can give the team energy, can make you play better and can have the reverse effect, but most times it's gonna be a positive effect. So we need to make sure that we attend the games. And I'm pleased at the last time. And the JFF did a better job of trying to get information out early. In fact, they got the information out about this game right after the last window, which is good. So them and 876 need to continue the momentum to sell tickets in advance and get people to go to the games. But you know what? I'll sponsor a few tickets to people. I'll sponsor a few tickets. So whatever the price, I'll sponsor a few tickets from this program. So I'll sponsor 3 grandstand tickets. Hey, JFF, no recharge me for money for grandstand. I retired, me poor people. I'll sponsor 3 grandstand ticket people. See? You don't say bleachers, because the Sunday ladies, not really go bleachers. I mean, nobody go moon. Nothing wrong with bleachers, people. It's 3 minutes ago, KC, it's a live bleachers. But when you get more seasoned, you want more interesting environment. Anyway, me sponsor some Sunday tickets. Because I can't be there in person. I was thinking I would be making I was thinking about coming for October, but now I'm going to make another trip. Avis, look for miracles. Avis said this should make Olga a better play. I don't think so. I think that's like saying sorry, we're going to make a lower different player. It doesn't say better different player. You are who you are. At a certain age, when you reach late 20s, you are who you are. You are who you are. It ain't changing. 10 grandstand ticket. No, I'm not buying on 10. All right. Me do this. Me do 5 grandstand ticket. 5 grandstand ticket. See? I do 5 grandstand ticket. People, please hit the like button. Me do 5 grandstand ticket. I just got a message that no show this evening for my England friends. So maybe it's a good thing, because I'm tired after this. By the way, people, for those of you who are here, I'm doing show tonight, 8 p.m. So me put in a prime time. 8 p.m. I'm doing a show on the Integrity Commission's investigation of our honorable, pure, never touched Prime Minister Andrew Holness. I did go through the report. I've put together a small presentation. I want to talk through it. I may even touch upon the litigation. I'm not sure if I'm there yet, because I couldn't get the document. I did get some insights and perspective. And by the way, I try not to listen to too many programs. I listen to one just in terms of the litigation, but I try not to listen to programs on the Integrity Commission findings and people's perspective, because I didn't want to be influenced. I want to have my own thoughts and perspective on it. Given that, even though I'm not an attorney, I am familiar with what the auditors did in terms of the forensic investigation and what the auditor would have done in terms of assessing. And there are some questions there which make no sense to me. Something don't make no sense. So even if you as a sports fan, I'm sure you're interested in what happened with the country and the investigation. So come join me this evening. We can have a good conversation about it. Right? I don't feel Holgate is wild. We didn't say he was wild, DW. Okay, we say Holgate is wild, you're saying Lowe is wild. I don't think they're wild. I think they're exceptionally aggressive, is what I call it. You and I can do the same amount. No, you're doing 10, but you see, because you have money. I mean, no money. You have money. You're still at work. I'm retired. When are you doing a show on LA Lewis? Never. We're not doing that show. We like politics. We like social justice. We like those things. And someone asked me to do a show on some kind of investing stuff. I need to do that too. Palmer, what Palmer are you talking about, Avis? You're talking about, not sure what Avis is mentioning here. No show on LA Lewis. I don't know before the game, but my tickets are grandstand tickets. And I think grandstand tickets are about 3 times Beaches tickets, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken. So if I'm doing 5 grandstand, that's about, 15, it's about 15 Bleachers tickets, I think. Oh, Palmer from Honduras. Okay. Oh, you're talking about the player. Okay. I apologize. Yeah, okay. Well, if he plays, right? Okay, the coach didn't get Tage angry. He was like, grandstand is 55. First thing I do, want to give me grandstand number. Never run to my calculator, enough people. You remember the oldest thing? And then them showed some like 50 million. I said, 50 million? Then I said, oh, Jamaican money. Right. And if we could run to the calculator quick and do a 150 type deduction. So about $35, $36, $37, $35 for grandstand. 33, you say? What is exchange rate then? Come here's 150, about what, 155 or something around there? Yeah, I'll do 5 grandstand ticket. Money's man, same I do 10. We not have, I am sure sports money. We not have insurance for money. You can do 20, I am sure sports. In fact, I'm surprised you don't get free ticket. What that's about? How come you don't get free ticket? I don't understand. If me and I'm going to say, I have to get free ticket. I have to get about 10 for me and my family and them. I'm going to give you half of them. And by the way, if you're New York people, I don't know if I should say this because we almost sell out. But my old soccer team is having an event on next week Saturday. My soccer team is called Unisoc Soccer Club. It's a non-for-profit organization. We're gonna have one of the politicians for the year come speak. So we're doing we have from 8 to 3 or 8 to 2, whatever it is. It's on Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn. It's a really nice venue. We're doing a annual fundraising awards banquet. So you have to dress up for it. I'll be emceeing the event. I emceed it now for the last 10, 11 years. Really good event, a lot of fun. Food is excellent. We have skits which are excellent. We normally have like a singer, maybe have some comedian. Comedian them kind of so-so. I'm honest with that. But it's a really good event. People enjoy it. We don't have no security because we don't invite no bad people. Say if you're bad, nowhere come. We don't want you to come. We don't have a big security thing. We probably have somebody to do work because up here, you know what, come there, see? So if you want to come, he was the tickets I give you over here. If you want to come to the event, tickets are only $70, people. In fact, I have about 4 tickets I just sold, and people say them can't make it them out of town. Them still support the cause. So bless up. So before this game, I just for a question for the TTFA. I don't think TTFA watch this program enough, people. I don't think they watch this program. I think they watch other programs. They don't watch this program. But I must sign off soon, people. I must sign off in the next 10 or something minutes by saying this couple of things. One is I'm looking forward to the window coming up. Looking forward to the window because we have even though we had, because after this window is a long time for the next window, people. But I think this window is tougher than the last window, because Nicaragua is doing well. We know what Honduras is. No matter how much time we beaten Honduras, I think the last 2 times they should have won that game. They were unlucky to win that game. So even though we played decent, they were unlucky to win that game. We're at home, and the crowd come out, all the players turn up. It's unfortunate that we're missing a few players. And it's unfortunate that we don't see Greenwood in this window. So hopefully by next window, some of the people who are filing for their papers and who can add to the team, and we can have some of the players who are injured and out back. Nicholson, hopefully he can get fit by next window. Jamal will get fit. The prodigal son get, over his injuries. Mason getting paper. Because I World Cup qualifier time next time. November is the next window. I thought next window was after. So what, FIFA have window every month? One of the people might complain. I thought somebody was going to ask the coach about the question about players and the volume. I think they asked the question in a different way, right? Because you hear Rodri complaining and out for the year about players playing too much football. And the question is, does the coach have discussion with coaches from the club teams, talk about how much he's going to play the players in this window? No, Dima, you don't need no view. Dima, I like McGee. I've always liked McGee. I think McGee needs to learn to. You know, McGee remind me of someone just played for my old soccer team. What's the kid from Abbeview name? His name will come to me. I have a senior moment now. Defensively, they're very good offensively, especially put a pass on a dime, but defensively, Rockford, you never see me at bleachers yet. What are we doing? But you see me at bleachers. You don't see me at no bleachers, Rockford. We started with bleachers years ago. We started with bleachers from high school. And then probably closed on my high school. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
How can I help you, sir? Yes, German Tripoli.
What?
Go ahead.
No. But I'm listening. I'm listening to you. I think the last thing that you just said is just ask myself. I say it's best I ask you.
Okay.
Because I don't have an answer. Why are you raising? Is your call it your soccer club? Are you guys raising money for a youth program?
So we have two teams. We have a over 40 team and we have an open team. And the teams play in competitions in Brooklyn. So we take the money to buy gears, pay referee fees, things of that nature. Actually, we have a $2,500 annual amount to be bequeathed to us by a former member who died. So we have a starting point. You start with the $2,500 to give us for the next 10 years. But we also raise money. The executives contribute to the pool also, but between referee fee, paying for venues, buying gears, that's what we do. Yeah. But it's not a youth like under 20 program. It's an open program. So yeah.
Well, when the money be better invested in the future in the young people, some 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
We don't discriminate.
No, it's not discrimination.
So if you're 11, you're good enough, you can play in the team. If you're 11, you're good enough, you can play in the team.
you always be the leaders of
Actually, you know what? We still have a youth team, you know. We still have a youth team. We still have a women's team, not youth team. We still have a women's team, but somehow they kind of spread out over the years. We had a good women's team actually for quite a few years, but then people spread out and we had to reconvene it. And then, you know, trying to have a women's team around Jamaica and men is not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. We should have a women's team separate and treat them separate and them to sharkish essentially at Jamaica. But no, it was a good construct actually. But no, we've been doing this that team has been around. The club has been around since the 70s actually. I joined them in the 90s, but they've been around since the 70s. There are some of the old people set it up, and it's one of the longest running clubs probably in the Western community in Brooklyn. In fact, most of the other clubs have disappeared actually. And the reason why is because of the leadership, obviously.
In this chat, in this platform, I've had so many different names attributed to me. And now I'm Andre York now.
Huh? You who?
I have so many names I've been given in this platform.
You have so many. So what's your name now?
The latest one now I'm seeing is Andre York. Somehow I'm being associated with right here.
Oh.
Look, I listened to the conversation. I've been listening to the conversation, and I'm not even trying to comment on Jamaica's situation specifically. But what do you think the criteria is for a national team coach?
Say it again.
What would your criteria be for the national team coach to select players? Any national team. I'm not speaking about Jamaica specifically.
The criteria to select players. Well, look, the first thing, the coach has to know what he or she wants in their team, right? What kind of players you're looking for? What's the profile of the player? And then does the player fit? Does the player have the skill set you're looking for and fit the profile you're looking for to bring him to your team? But you have to get to know the player, right? You got to go watch the player play. You got to go talk to the player, understand before you make a decision. And what my contention with this coach is, he keeps saying that Merrin Gordon recommended the player, and I did a little bit of look. I peep. If you're gonna pick a player for a national team, you can't be peeping. You gotta be in depth. You gotta look deeply. That's my view on that.
I think, and again, I'm not speaking to that situation specifically. I think performing would you add to that the player performing in the current club environment?
Well, no, that's innate. But I'm saying you gotta look at that's innate to the whole. The only way you're gonna look at their player and where they fit, what you're looking for is you watch them play up close and personal, not just some on TV.
What I would say is that as I listened to the conversation, I was reminded of Trinidad under 20 situation, which ended up, which was a situation where under 20 coach was hired. He didn't spend the requisite time on the island in trying to select a team, so others got involved and select this team. And in the beginning, he said he selected the team, and then in the end, when the whole thing failed, he said he didn't select the team.
We don't have the problem. We don't have the problem with our under 20 team.
No, it's just I'm speaking generally from a.
I'm not speaking generally. I'm speaking specifically. We don't have that question. We know who selected the team, and we know what happened after they select the team and how they played. So we don't have that problem. I can understand Trinidad have it because you probably had a coach who probably wasn't on the island, right? So,
well, he lives abroad. He was hard to do the job. From my understanding, he spent significant time, preparation time, or the important time period where he should have been there to select the team. He spent it out of the country, and not paying attention. So it provided the opportunities for others to make suggestions.
So I'm going to ask you this question. What's your view on the coach keeps saying the assistant coach make the reference? I peeked at the player. I peep, not peek. I peep at the player, and because you say it take a quick look, which is mean you're peeping, right? Like I look through a keyhole. I peep at the player and I bring him in. What's your view on that?
Well, it's not what you would expect from a head coach. A head coach basically, if you look around the world, if I ask you now, who was the assistant coach's name at Man City or Arsenal or whatever, you don't know the names.
No, that's not true. McClaren was at Man U.
Hold on. Well, yeah, because you know it now because, right?
But I don't even know I don't even know the set piece coach for Arsenal. But I know he's brilliant.
Right.
I don't even know his name. I don't know his name.
Right. So the point I'm making is that these guys stay in the background and do their work, and then, and the coach is the leader, and anything that happens, he takes responsibility for, right? Whatever decisions get made is his responsibility, right? He takes that role. So it's not what you would expect to hear from a head coach. He's being described now as a peeping Tom.
You're the ones that peeping Tom, The man said they got quick peep.
I'm just reading what's in the chat.
And take a quick peep.
I'm reading what's in the chat.
So wait, I need to know this because sometimes you go on this program and especially JFF beat me, say we are cancer. I'm gonna use my own term. We are cancer. We're overly critical. We don't add value. If it go, that's what I'm here from JFF, right? So am I overly critical if I'm saying the coach? It keeps referring to his assistant coach about who he select for his national team.
No, I don't think it's critical. It's an observation. It certainly is an observation. I don't think it's being critical, and it's not a process that you see consistently in the game. As I was saying just now, head coaches take responsibility for everything that happens within the program, because it's their decision to make, and at the end of the day, and that's why it brought back memories to what happened with Trinidad under 20, because in the end, when the team didn't qualify for the next round of the U20, the coach ended up saying that he didn't pick the team. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So he said he picked it in the beginning, and then he said he didn't pick it. So, and I think coaches just need to deal with, if the team had qualified, it would have been his team, right?
It's always your team when they win. You try to hide when they don't win.
Yeah. So, look, as I said, I've said consistently that I'd like to see both islands at the World Cup, but if Trinidad need to get their act together quickly, so that if there's a chance, but Jamaica seem to be on a good path. So if Trinidad is not going to be there, I'm rooting for Jamaica to be there. I'm rooting for both countries.
I have a suggestion for you. and I think you should take my advice. You should take my advice. You should see if you have any association with anyone from Jamaica in your past history, and try to get Jamaican citizenship. I can help you with the process. I've been there, done it.
You can help me. Well, okay. So
I'm a bandwagonist, okay, and you should be too. I know your son plays for Trinidad. I know he plays for Trinidad, and he seemed to be a very good player. But you're saying, son, I'm going with winners. Okay.
I'll take that under. I'll take that under advice.
Okay. All right.
Listening to the press conference earlier today, it could take the World Cup could come and go before I get citizenship, right?
No. It's a difference. A difference. You got to make sure to pay, because the problem is this. It's a unique Caribbean problem, which is, if your name is John, your birth certificate shouldn't say Paul, right?
Right.
So it's hard. Now the president gave an extreme example that one letter was missing, whatever it was. I think. I'm not sure that's totally right. My understanding situation was it was hard to read the birth certificate, right? It wasn't. He make it look like it's like one letter, one word, whatever it is. I tend to think it's probably. I don't know the specifics, but my understanding was the person's family migrated from Jamaica to the UK, but it was hard to read the birth certificate, so they want a new one, so they go get a new one. That's what the person says, but it made it seem like it was very minutiae, and I think it may have been a bit more, but I don't know. I don't know the specifics. But I knew about this a while ago, actually, that the person was going through the process, and that something was wrong with it. Not something wrong with the birth certificate. It was hard to read, so they go get a new one issued. And it can take a while, especially if somebody has died. Right. And Jamaica, the Caribbean doesn't really move quickly. Something which normally take you a day may take you a month. That's 30 days later. It doesn't move quickly. It doesn't move quickly.
It does move quickly for an island.
It does move quickly if you do certain things to expedite the process, but you have to do certain things.
You have the system is set up so that the process needs to be expedited.
Right. You have to incentivize for speed. You ain't gonna get no speed if you don't incentivize. You have to incentivize to get speed. That's all I'll say.
To be clear, could you spell speed that you're referencing?
I said SPEED. I didn't say spider. I didn't say when I said spider. I didn't say. I said SPEED. That's what I'm talking about.
I always gotta make sure you don't get yourself in.
No. I stay away from that.
What is your unemotional, objective prediction for the two games coming up?
There's no such things with fans. You can't bifurcate emotions and your loyalties and then give me an outcome. No, I'm gonna be like Cataract used to say. Actually, if you give Cataract an adverse score, he says you're only saying it because you want to be right. Because if it goes wrong, and you're like, who wants to take the beating? Who wants to take the beating? Because you're gonna get beaten. So I would say this: I don't know the Nicaragua. I haven't watched Nicaragua play enough to make an informed view about that game, and it's away. But I think Jamaica will probably draw or beat Honduras. Because here's why. So I think we'll be. You know what? Maybe I should revisit that. Honduras is going to be a tough game. Because every time we played them, the last 2 or 3 times we played them, it's been a very difficult game. They probably should have won the last 2, even when we played them in Jamaica. But I do think now the team, I'm just thinking about the team we have. We don't have Prodigal Son. I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1 in Jamaica. And we may draw with Nicaragua away.
So when you look at Jamaica's performances throughout and you compare the home games and the away games, like the Honduras game, let's take the last.
We haven't had any home games. The last home game we had was Cuba. Before that, we didn't have any home game.
So who do you think the pitch affect more? Because there's a question.
You actually missed my point. You actually missed my point. See, you just run ahead to the next thing. Let me say that again. Before Cuba, we didn't really have any home game. We were playing at the office. Well, it wasn't the office.
At the office.
We're playing away from home. We're playing at home. Ain't no office. Right. Your office is where you reside. When you go on the road to work, you're in a temporary location. Yeah. So we didn't really play at home. We've been playing in Kingston, but it wasn't home because there ain't nobody in the stadium. But that can't be home. A game against Cuba was home. That's where you have Bandu crowd. So we played Haiti and we almost lost to Haiti, and Honduras we were not home. We were just in Kingston.
So that's why it's important that you donate those tickets that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and I'm serious about that actually. Yeah.
Who do you think would be affected more by the quality of the pitch, Jamaica or Honduras?
Jamaica. And the reason is because a lot of these players, even the ones who used to play in Jamaica, are not used to playing on those surfaces anymore. The Lows of the world, the Blakes of the world, they don't play on these surfaces. The Hondurans may not have the best surfaces in some of the places they play. The surface was different. This was decent what we played on, but they would have difficult pitches in Honduras. These players, almost every single player who played in the Jamaica team, every single player, frankly, that's in the team now, you don't have any JPL players in the team, would have played in the national stadium. The Tavon Gray, all them play overseas, and they're playing in countries where they have better pitches. Okay, if you're playing in Europe, most likely the pitch is going to be good because it's rain over there like crazy. So grass going to be green, and football is life. In the U.S., as you know, the teams in the fields are good. You're playing, even in Saudi Arabia, where they have a lot of money, fields are probably good. So, no, it'd be better for Honduras versus us.
So you're sticking with your 2-1 against Honduras, 2-1 Jamaica.
Yes, and I'll hold my prediction. I got to watch some more tapes of Nicaragua to make a prediction. Yeah, I'm saying draw right now because they're leading the zone, but I haven't seen them play to make an informed decision. So I got to do a better job of that.
Well, it's football in the region is so complicated sometimes. Trinidad was able to beat America in Trinidad the other day, but couldn't beat Nicaragua.
You know what? Every other conversation you talk about that. When if you talk about Trinidad, we beat America. Hey, Kranky, don't forget, we just beat. No, we're not talking about way back when. Way back when. Talk about now. We beat America at home. Whenever last time you beat America, Kranky? Hey, Kranky, when last time you guys beat America? I can't recall, Kranky. Can you tell me? No, when last time we beat America? We ain't beat America. Have we beaten them anytime soon? No time soon. The last time we should have beaten them was Low in the stadium, and they stole the goal from Low. Yeah.
Did you see their roster recently?
What, the US roster?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
If you look at the US roster and the fact that they now have Pochettino as a head coach and listen to his interview and what his plans are, what he's trying to accomplish, they could be a very scary team in the region.
Because he's gonna pull a player from if they ain't in the shoebox, he's gonna fire them, right? He's gonna find them and bring them in. He ain't playing.
Yeah, they can create a gap between Fultz and themselves and Mexico, actually, to be honest with you.
Well, most of their players play overseas, right? Well, not most, but a lot of players play overseas. A lot of them.
But Canada would be competitive because of the way they're approaching the game, and the manager that they have is the energy that he brings to the table and whatnot. So,
well, Canada players are also playing at a decent level, aren't they? I mean,
yes.
Alfonso Davies and what's his name that play up, Jonathan, play up front. I saw him the other day against Real Madrid. He looked good. Yeah.
But before I go, I must mention, even though he professed that he does not like Trinidad, except for he liked a couple of things about Trinidad. Cataract was pretty decent today.
No, he was more than decent.
Yeah.
There was Cataract and there were the rest. You know what I'm saying? There was Cataract, and then you had some other people in the background making noise about questions. There's no comparison. Cataract I think he was exceptional with his questions. It's very difficult to go in an environment and ask questions which I deem to be insightful, penetrative, add value. It was all of that. No, he was very good.
What do you think about a reporter asking why a player wasn't included and he is on the roster?
It could be oversight on the reporter's part, but it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, right?
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. No, it shouldn't happen. That's a bad thing for a reporter to miss. The question about Whisper, though, to me, also probably wasn't the best question. Yeah. The only reason is because everybody knows the player has been injured, so you ask the players to be included when are you trying to catch the coach out? Which if you did, you did. If that was the intention, you did. But the player's not ready to play no football. He's not even back at Chelsea, right? So I don't know what the gist of the question was. It may have say what the coach don't know the players. If that was your objective, you achieve your objective.
So everybody got to raise the level, right? The reporters, the players, the staff, everybody got to raise the level for the football.
But they did when they brought in Manning's man and Simon. They did raise their level. They need to further raise it. But now that's not the JFF, right? That's the people surrounding the JFF, which are the other stakeholders. So the JFF has improved in a couple of departments. Those people, look, here's the thing, people, about those questions, actually. Here's my view on that. Before you go to those press conferences, you should be bantering around 5 or 6 penetrating questions you want to ask that you know people are interested in, but maybe challenging, maybe even controversial, but you should be asking the question. You got to ask questions that people want to know the answers and the perspective. You don't ask question like throwaway question. Right? So the first question wasn't really a bad question, it was position. Because I also want to know the coach recruiting strategy, because I don't know what it is. Where you get the intelligence from, we get information from. What do you look at? What do you do when you're not in Jamaica? That's what I want to know. No, I'm dead serious about that. Like, what do you do when you're not in Jamaica? Walk us through a typical day in your life when you're not in Jamaica. Are you on the beach in France? Or not France, in Spain at Barcelona? Are you traveling the country? Do you get a list of places? What do you do when you're not in Jamaica? Because you say you travel a lot. Fine. So what do you do? I'm curious. Does the JFF know what you do? I'm curious. That question hasn't been asked. Why hasn't it been asked? You're not in Jamaica. We don't see you at JPL games watching games. We don't see you watching high school games. We don't see you in America looking at Tavon Gray or McGee or Speedy or anybody. We don't hear you say you're going to games in England to go watch the players. We say you talk to players who are in the national team. What do you do? So this is for the traditional press. I know some of you watch my program. And by the way, me hear people ask some questions, some things, I'm not going to leave that alone. I'll leave that alone. But me hear not talk about things that we talk about on my program, Not YouTubers, by the way. People in the regular media. But that's another story for another day. Here's the point, people. Do your research first before you go to press conference to ask questions. Don't make a last minute throw it in some AI if you get the question what AI give a plain vanilla question. AI don't have some of the insights and perspective to ask the question. Think about, what is it we're trying to accomplish? It's about players. It's about the organization. It's about facilities. It's about the opponents. What questions can I ask around those topics that's informative, can be leveraged, can inform the audience that we all want to know? Right? That's my view on this. Ask those questions. Cataract question, we all talk about sourcing players. It's number one priority, people. So the question about the more junior players who are not national team, why don't we ask some of those questions? Where the splat, where the players that we know have ability, have you even looked at them? Have you talked to them? Have you assessed them? Do you have any insight into them? That's the question we should be asking. Because we're trying to build the best team that fits what he wants to play in the World Cup and to compete at the National League. That's my view. So with that preaching, I'm done. I'm done. But by the way, people, go ahead. I'm gonna close the program.
I was gonna say you have a big project ahead of you.
Yes. I'm 8:00 tonight, people. Have you and your wives and your significant other sit down so you can have discussion about. It's not a long presentation. Not a long I call it a presentation. Not a long discussion about the. A lot of people have done this before. I'm not sure what I'm doing is unique. I don't think it is, but I haven't really listed them. I'm gonna do it my own style, my own way, and we can talk about this evening, people. I was actually watching a program last night for a little bit where they were talking about some of this actually, but it's about the discussion tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it on Kranky Live and probably on my Twitter account, Kranky_live, and also on my Balance View channel. They're all gonna bring it. It's walking through the investigation. Well, it's a summary, because the whole report is about 170 plus pages. I'm not doing that. It's summarizing the information, discussing the information, and walking away with some things we should think about. So I need to go prepare for that too. So thank you before the game. I appreciate you being here, sir.
Yes, sir. And what time does Arsenal play tomorrow? 10 a.m.?
They play on Saturday.
On Saturday, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, right?
Yeah. Oh, damn. You know what? I'm getting confused. Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday. Why am I thinking today is Thursday? Actually, I think it's at 10 a.m. They play Southampton. Southampton, 10 a.m. Yeah.
Southampton at 10 a.m. All right, brother.
All right, thanks. All right, thanks. All right, everyone. Come join me 8:00 this evening. We're going to talk about your prime minister if you're Jamaican. Or if you're in the Caribbean, just talk about how, people in the Caribbean who are in those seats, how they operate. We'll see you this evening, 8 p.m. Hit the like button before you go. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. You know what? I'm gonna play my Kranky live before I leave because I won't play tonight. So, good evening, people. See you at 8 p.m. Bye. Kranky life is the place to be now for the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Kranky life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky life, till them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky life, till them. Kranky life, heed them. Kranky life, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky life, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky life, give me my Kranky life. I want my Kranky life. Must have my Kranky life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky life. Tell them, Kranky life. Heed them, Kranky life. Want them, Kranky life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky life. Me say fi heed them Kranky life. On them Kranky life. Kranky life will be around. Kranky life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them, want them, heed them. Want them, Kranky life. Kranky life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky life. Kranky life. Kranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them.